Good evening, everyone. Welcome to FPL BlackBox / The Late Tackle. It's a combination of both. I am joined tonight by Mr. FPL Mode and a surprise inclusion. You thought we weren't getting him tonight, but Mr. Mark Southerns is with us. Hi, Mark. Hi, Andy.
Hey, is that right? Did you bill it as me not included?
Yeah. Well, you told me you weren't coming, and I thought you could bail any minute. So.
Well, I still could, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't miss this.
Why so many people are in the chat? They're like, yes, just as an Andy.
Yeah, I wish it was like that, Andy. To be honest,
yeah, it's not. No.
This time of night, you know what I like to do. So
yeah. I like a piece of FPL mode. Well,
What's that?
We did.
I feel myself entering it now. Actually,
I have to say these two are in a particularly childish mood tonight.
We are.
I was trying to set up the stream, and I just said no talking, and they're constantly in my ear. I thought, this is what it's like you being a teacher, right, Andy? I kind of feel like
I was just about to say that. Yeah, I have a go at kids all day, every day for doing that, and now me and Mark are doing
too big, Andy. I think, don't you think?
He has.
Yeah.
Didn't even change it, did he? What was he doing before the stream started?
He said, "Shut up, I'm going to do it," and then he didn't do it.
You two,
and then he threatened to walk away.
You two can talk as much as you like. Last week, you gave me a whole stick of abuse for my wild card. I bloody nailed it, didn't I?
Yeah, wow.
You did.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
Did. 10 whole points.
Absolutely nailed it. Our ranks aren't on the screen. Not entirely sure why. Feel like I won't mess around trying to fix that. Let me try one thing, actually. Let me just try that. No, that's worse.
Wow.
No, that's worse.
Well, the ranks are back. Oh, you had the ranks on then just now.
No, they were IDs.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, they were IDs. No, it's fine. We haven't got ranks. We don't need ranks. It's fine. I think I know why, but I can't be bothered to go into the thing and change. It's just going to.
I know why. Because you don't want your rank on screen. That's what
Green Arrow, 1 million places up in the world. I'm like, what? 3 points behind Andy now. Absolutely smashing it.
Colwell, mate.
Colwell. I was disappointed with you actually, Andy, because I thought we were the Colwell boys, and then you are slagging me off still on Twitter for my rank. I saw it.
Did I?
Yep.
Did I?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like something I would do.
You said he may have got a green arrow, but he did have to play the most powerful chip in the game to kill it.
Oh no! That wasn't about the rank. That was about you going up against me in Greyhead's tournament. And everybody went, oh, look, Az beat Andy. I was like, well, yeah, but he did have to play the most powerful chip in the world to do it. So, it's a compliment, if anything.
Still hurt my feelings.
Did it? It's all right. It's all right. You could be in FPL mode later. You'll be fine, mate.
This is all wrong. Az is smiling.
Well, we'll change that. Don't worry.
Yeah, I have got a new mic. I've got a Razer mic. I did a stream earlier. It seemed all right. But... yeah.
Last time you used a razor, you were applying it to a part of your body. Right? It wasn't your face.
Mark, they're not sponsoring us this year. We don't give them free shout outs.
I hope we get at least a fiver out of that reference.
And Andy, I realise I haven't zoomed you out like I promised I would, but
yeah, exactly. Big face.
Too late. Let's talk about some actual stuff. We've got plenty to talk about. We've got Andy's wildcard coming. He is on the he's pushed the button, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. We got all the normal stuff as well. That's what I mean. It's the late tackle / black box hybrid. We've got all the stats tables we normally show, and the captains things and the predictions and all that kind of stuff. So we'll get into that. Before we do, though, just want to shout out to our new members. They're still coming in, Mark. We have a backlog of intro videos to do.
I enjoyed the last lot though. I thought they were very high standard. Actually.
Yeah, you keep promising outrageous things to members on these.
I promised that Billy would clean one of the members' car.
Mark is bank. It started off like that, and then it was, you can have a dinner and we can have this award and all this, and now we're bankrupt. But I do want to shout out to Tim Locke, to Mahmoud Bashir, to Ahmed Atiyah, to Lee, and to Kenneth M, who've all joined the Black Box or Godfather tier. And thank you to all of our members for your support. And the WhatsApp chat is growing, and if you do want to get involved, sign up and we'll have you in. You can support the channel because we really appreciate it.
Thanks to the members, they bought that substandard mic you're using tonight. So.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, we haven't got enough members for me to buy a decent one, so this is. If you want me to, I can't guilt trip the members. that doesn't seem fair. Let's talk about game weeks. I will go first because I was top of the pile, 61 points.
God.
This team outscored. No thanks to Plan FPL, who said I was going to be worse off in the wildcards. This team outscored by 15 points my pre-wildcard team, so I was pretty happy with that. Areola and Cash came in with 6, Kabore with 3. Last minute change to Colwell, which caused a bit of a stir, I'd say.
Well, what did you have before him?
I had Gabriel, didn't I?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I benched Cash, and he came on for Botman.
Oh, jam.
But play Colwell. Everyone was like, you can't have Colwell, you can't have this. But as Andy knows, as one of the Colwell boys, he came through for us. Salah did not come through. Never in doubt. Salah didn't come through. That was a shame. Robbed, really, of another assist. But I won't go on about it again. I've always ranted about it too much. I've mentioned this in every stream. If you haven't checked out the Planet FPL pod with James talking about the VAR decision in that game, go watch it. Turn this stream off. Go watch it. It's brilliant. Yeah. Some of the best content I've listened to in ages. He explains exactly why it was such a monumental balls up. So I would check that out.
As a Spurs fan as well, he was quite impassioned.
He was. No, everyone should listen to that. Ward-Prowse with 4 didn't get anything but got a bonus point. I think created the most chances in the league for that week. So a little bit gutted he didn't come in, but I think he's fine going forward. And then the boring picks: Maddison, Son, Diaby, Haaland, Alvarez, who I'm sure a lot of people will be picking on wildcards, although there is a discussion to be had about Diaby. But yeah, 61, pretty happy.
Yeah, and Diaby's all right. Diaby's
You think you're playing?
Yeah, I mean,
I seem to remember you saying that about all my flags last week, Mark, and Botman didn't turn up.
If you look at Emery's selection for midweek, he rested Cash and Watkins, didn't he? You had to get off the bench, right? So he obviously approached that fixture thinking, I don't want to play all my first 11 and certainly some of my top players. So therefore, why would he risk Diaby? And you know what managers like? They look for an excuse, don't they, to leave a player out because they worry about supporters going, oh, why aren't you playing Diaby? Why aren't you playing our best player? So, and Diaby's not on international duty, so he gets 2 weeks rest because he's not in the French squad.
Yeah.
So I don't see why they wouldn't play him. Unless, of course, he's absolutely ruled out, but Emery hasn't ruled him out either, has he? So, and he said he's training tomorrow. So
it was interesting with Botman, wasn't it? Because Botman was in the morning. Slippers leaked the information that Botman was going to start and had that from a credible source. And then it was almost that as the day went on, the medical team intervened and said that he wasn't quite ready to.
Is that how it went?
That's how I understand it. I don't know if you know any different, Andy. All the rumours I saw in the morning were Botman was going to play and was in the team, and then he wasn't. But yeah, Craig Boycrook, bang average wildcard. You can't please anyone, can you? These days, a million up, beat these boys by 10, and I still get slated.
You can't judge a wildcard by 1 week.
Of course you can. Of course you can have.
No. It can all go to shit from here.
We were judging it before that.
I'm gonna be very interested to see your wildcard team, Andy, because I imagine you are a pretty dull manager.
Oh God! Right,
and it's gonna be a dull wildcard. It's gonna be a mild card. Let's be honest.
I mean. No, do you know what? I'm not going to rise to it. We'll wait. We'll wait.
Is this give us a little bit of a clue. Is there any Maverick picks in there at all? Vanilla Andy, ham sandwich.
I mean, there won't be. He's the most boring picker there is.
Are you putting him up there with the likes of Zophar then and people like that? You saying he's that kind of play it safe?
Yep. There won't be anyone interesting. There won't be anyone interesting in that team. I guarantee it. His differential pick will be Bowen, who'll be like, oh, no one's got Bowen. It's just me on the wild cards. Guaranteed.
I feel myself being removed from FPL mode as you speak. That's no good.
Can't wait. Well,
I need another drink. Right, yeah. This is my team.
Cheers to everyone tonight. Thanks for joining us on Friday. Yeah, I've no idea how many people are watching, but yeah, we appreciate.
I'll have a look while you carry on.
We appreciate. But yeah, Andy, this is your team. Do you want to talk through it? You didn't get a Stupidan off the bench, which I think is a major plus for this team.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he was literally first on my bench, and obviously considering Saliba and Saka were like, are they going to play? They're not going to play. That was interesting. So I had Pickford in goal for 1. Still managed to get Pickford and Turner the wrong way round. I think I've done that all year. Colwell with 12. Literally never in doubt. I knew he was going to get an assist in that game and get me 12 points. That was lovely. Kabore with 3. I was so close to Doughty because Bricky kind of recommended him to me, but I went Kabore.
I was as well. I talked about him last week, didn't I?
Yeah.
We were both.
I don't know what he got in the end. Did he get 10?
A little bit extra though, honey. A little bit extra. Did he get 10? I thought he got 8.
He's 4. He got 10.
Did he?
Yeah, because he got 8 in the first game.
Yeah. I messaged, or maybe you got 9 because they conceded 2, didn't they? I messaged Ash afterwards because I said, if I'd said to you, is Doherty a good pick? What would you have said? And he said, I would have said he's a massive rotation risk. Ash Juice, I'm talking about. I would have said he's a massive rotation risk. We've just signed Giles from Wolves, and there's too much risk. So I don't know. I think it was the right move.
Yeah.
But
then Saliba, who got the clean sheet, they'd lose keeping clean sheets away from home. Then Mbumo, Saka with 9. I mean, Saka could have got an absolute haul. And all I kept thinking was, they kept winning these penalties. And all I kept thinking was, come on, Az would hate this. Az would hate this. And then he gave one to Odegaard, gave one to Havertz.
It's the Havertz one I didn't like. Bloody
they just kept saying, Saka's given the ball to the... Yeah, so that wasn't fun. And all I kept thinking then was, maybe he won it, because I was listening to it, and I was like, maybe he won it. But no, of course he didn't. Foden with 2, Rashford with 2, Bruno with 2, Alvarez with 8. First points for Alvarez for me. And then Haaland, Captain Blank, with only 4 points. But Estupiñán did come on for -2. And actually, I was 3.8 million before the Chelsea game, and that Cole Wheel 12-pointer gave me a 1 million rank rise. So I'm now 2.8 mil, so I'll take it.
Aren't you glad the ranks aren't on the screen?
Yeah, big time. The arrow is.
Yeah.
Before we move on, can we talk with your team up here, your old team? Can we talk about what it was that triggered you into playing the wildcard? What were the players? What were the surroundings?
Well, we said, do you remember when we streamed before the season even started and we were talking about when we would likely wildcard? And I had it in my head that Gameweek 8 would be a good time to because of the fixture swings. So I had kind of set my team up to wildcard in 8 because I kept hold of the United boys and the Chelsea boys and said to myself, I'm going to keep hold of them because it's basically like dead ending. And obviously it kind of got compounded a bit more because the Chelsea boys and the United boys weren't obviously doing that well, and it was a lot of money tied up, and there was a lot of eggs in one basket. And I just kind of said to myself, actually, this does seem like a good time now. It's kind of justified my selections a little bit because the players I wanted, I pressed the wildcard on Saturday, and since then, I think my team value has gone up over 1 million. So it's obviously the team that everybody's naturally moving to anyway because the fixture swing was there. Which is what I've been eyeing up anyway. So, yeah, it's interesting, though, because obviously my team value was low.
Yeah, we need to talk about this. We need to talk about this. Have you seen this one?
Yours was 99.7.
Guess what Andy's was?
I don't know.
99.7.
Was it?
Unbelievable.
What I heard from Andy there was he always planned to play it in this game week, whereas yours was just a panic. Yours was like a flailing around.
Exactly. And he was flailing.
Andy was
like a newborn baby.
This was always in the plan.
Ahead of the curve, 15 points up. Say what you want.
On yourself. On your previous self.
I mean, your midfield is pretty dreadful, isn't it? Like, it's to be fair, it's been all right up until that midfield this week looked good, and we had a similar midfield. But going forward, holding 2 United mids, holding Mbumo, holding Foden with Silva coming back, it's got to be done.
Yeah. I think that I look at that and it's the midfield, isn't it? I think like United have been so abject, and Mbumo obviously started really quickly and got the 2 pens and got a couple of tap-ins, or 1 tap-in and 1 very good goal against Bournemouth, but Brentford at that point were right at the top of the XG of any team. So we knew there was going to be regression for Brentford and then regression from Mbumo. So, yeah, it's those 3 players in particular, I think.
I will say as well, though, it's not just the midfield. Don't get me wrong, the midfield didn't do very well this week. Defence has been absolutely terrible for me pretty much all year. Just getting a clean sheet has been a highlight this season. So Colwill getting me an assist and a clean sheet and 3 bonus points, like genuinely is one of the biggest things to happen to my season so far, which says a lot.
I love how you say clean sheet. I've always loved it.
A clean sheet. A clean sheet.
I loved it. It's like, I don't know, it's the kind of Yeovil coming out.
I was going to say, is there an accent there? Yeah, clean sheet.
Clean sheet. I don't know.
What's wrong with that?
I don't know.
No idea, Andy.
There's an emphasis on clean sheet. It's just clean sheet.
Honestly, you boys are so frustrated.
I'm not making anything of that.
We're frustrating. And listen back.
I didn't say frustrating. I said frustrated.
Oh yeah, very frustrating.
Yeah.
We're all addicted to
exactly.
it does that to us. Mark, let's go for yours. I mean, no bench, and yet you still benefited from it.
Yeah, so this is worth pointing out actually. 9 starters, and I still got the same as Andy, and only 10. And the only difference between my team and your team was Colwell, a lucky Colwell 12-pointer. So
how much you pay for Trippier?
I got it base value 6.5, wasn't he? I got him for 6.5. Yeah. Pickford won, of course, the customary. Botman 0 didn't turn up.
Can I just say how hilarious Pickford has been? Like, I've got everything wrong this season. Don't get me wrong, you're both beating me. But I said first week of the season, why the hell are you both going for Pickford? That's the only thing I've got right. I mean, I went for Onana, who hasn't been a lot better, but Pickford has been monumentally bad.
With Andy's wildcard this week and getting rid of Pickford, you know what happens. So I've got to keep him. Yeah. I've got to keep him this week because Andy will probably bring me luck with that. Midfield, Maddison 2. Sterling didn't turn up, of course. Came off the bench, got booked straight away. Did a Jackson, effectively. Diaby the 8, Saka 9, Salah just the 1. Robbed, of course. Alvarez 8. Haaland captain because, didn't take a risk with the captaincy. That was it. Nothing on the bench. Gusto, Baldock, and Mubama. But I didn't, I'm playing without a bench at the moment, and that's going to continue as well. So,
if anyone is doubting Mark's jam this week, he did.
This week? What?
You did Estupinan to Botman and still managed a net positive, even though Botman didn't play. I mean, what?
Can I just say, so when you talk about being ahead of the curve, right? Ahead of the curve, who's the most sold player this week? Oh, it's Estupinan this week, the most sold player.
Yeah,
right?
you predicted that injury so early. Well done.
He mentioned it. He mentioned it last week, didn't he?
I said, I'll tell you what, he's looking like he's going to get injured any minute.
Yeah, he's at ex-injuries high.
He had a terrible game. So you can't say I'm well ahead of the curve. I can even see the injuries coming. So, yeah.
No temptation to wildcard?
I don't think you can say you can see the injuries coming, by the way. You've got more flags than a sandcastle, someone's mentioned this, right?
Oh, yeah, I have there, but I haven't on my new team. So I did that. No temptation to wildcard? No. Why would I wildcard?
I mean, lots of reasons.
When you see my team for this week, I've taken a hit. This week, but the team's good. The team's very good. I like it.
This is your team after the hit?
No.
Oh, good.
Cool. Come on, Andy. You know how BlackBox works. We save that to the end. Get the numbers up.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a dance of 7 veils. This is the last veil is the team sheets.
The clean sheets.
Clean sheets. I mean, he just wants you to say it again, Andy.
I'm not.
It's like the Simpsons meme again. Say it.
You've got a lot of hate in the chat from the West Country boys.
Yeah, I can see. They're
massive here in the house.
Exactly.
We got 1,300 in the chat. So again, thanks all for joining us. Do give us a like if you're enjoying. Do head over to thefootballcontentawards.com/voting to give FPL BlackBox a vote in the Best in Fantasy Football Podcast and Video category.
Look at Nigel with the cheek. Look, he might be a member, but he feels he can dig you out.
He gives us money a month, Mark. He can say whatever he wants. Let's take a quick look at the great and the good because I'm off the bottom.
Yay!
Whee! I've got the worst team value in the great and the good at exactly 100 million. I'm back where I started. Although Andy isn't too far ahead of me, but he's a little bit better, 100.5. Well, that might have changed a bit now on the wildcard, right? Because you might have sold some players that went up. So we're probably about the same. Mark's in second, usurped by FPL General and his 23 points.
He got the Watkins return, didn't he? Which he deserved for holding on to him. But
just one manager in the league was brave enough to captain someone other than Haaland, and that was Jan Kepski. Who captained Morris, and he still got a red arrow. So it was a brutal week really for the great and the good. I think there was only a couple of us who got green arrows. You haven't done very well with the colours on this chart, Mark.
Oh no, I didn't bother touching that. Sorry about that. I slack of me, isn't it? My team value, just want to point that out. 101.8, highest in the me and Harry, highest. Yeah, it's 102.
Have you seen Harry's wildcard team?
Not yet. What's he done?
Oh, it's good. It's just, it's like...
Well, that's the value, right?
Well, we're going to see with Andy's that he has to make a sacrifice somewhere, Like, there won't be Trippier or there won't be...
he probably won't have to make many sacrifices.
Harry hasn't made any. The team is all the players you'd want and no sacrifice because of the team value.
He's not doing that badly, though, so I was surprised, 1.4 million is not disastrous. Did he need to wildcard? Is he going to do it?
You should see his team. It looks very good.
Okay. All right. I wonder how many changes he made because
haven't got it. Loving the anarchist vibe to late tackle Must be a late night thing. Yeah, thing. Well, it's probably
We do.
You're right, Az.
No, I really struggled.
Anarchic vibe. What's that? What's an anarchic vibe?
I really like anarchy. Like there's anarchy going on in
anarchic. You mean anarchic?
Yeah, anarchy.
Andy, I love the way he says anarchic vibe.
Yeah.
Anarchy.
I love the way he says things wrong.
Anarchic.
Anarchic. Yeah, that's
I've never heard that word before.
Have you never used the word anarchic? Okay. Well, I'm sure.
I'm
Andy
sorry
does
for never using the word.
Yeah.
We've had a super chat. Let's take it because
it's
a chaotic stream anyway. Craig Boy Crook advice: don't laugh. Calvert Lewin. What do we think of Calvert Lewin?
Well, he's in the scout picks this week, isn't he? I thought
he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we can talk about Calvert Lewin in a bit, Craig. To be fair, because Everton's fixtures look all right. And yeah, we'll talk about it in a second. We'll look at the team data attack, and because you've given us a fiver, we will focus in on Everton attack and Calvert Lewin.
So is he taking Núñez out? Is he?
Oh, that's what it sounds like. I wouldn't be doing that. I wouldn't be doing that this week. He's
No, it's the other way around, isn't it?
Calvert-Lewin for Núñez, or let it ride for a week. And I see. So he's taking Calvert-Lewin out.
Oh, I see.
Right. I think so.
Can't be selling Núñez this week, surely.
No, it's got to be the other way around. So I guess he's nervous about selling Calvert-Lewin. I wouldn't be.
Yeah. Okay. And we got another super chat from Faisy. Erkin, veterans always move up as the season progresses, so it's a gem to have Az and Andy at this rank. Exactly. Not like boring old Mark doing well.
It makes it interesting. No, I went through it. I did my time last season. So
exactly. It's nice for him to be doing well. I've never streamed with him when he's been doing well, so this is lovely.
Oh, here we go. 2016 we started as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I thrashed him last year, so it's
by that single point, which you shouldn't have got, or I should have beaten you. I'm not going to bring up the end.
I knew that would trigger you. Amazing. Let's look at some stats. Let's look at the team data defense here. I mean, this stuff is key when you're considering the wild card and who to bring in. City at the top, but we saw Vardy benched again, didn't we? Diaz scored an own goal. They concede again. Look at their chances created per 90 compared to the rest of the league. It's like, there's only Man City and Arsenal with less than 10.
They limit teams to less than 7 shots per game.
But they concede in every match.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. I mean, those with Walker will be happy what they've seen so far, but any other defender, you've been really mugged off. Stones is back soon. Do we reckon he can be a factor for us?
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on Pep, doesn't it, really? Because it's been so hard to read Pep's team selection at the back. Yeah, we know he loves Stones, and Stones will probably be a factor in midfield, won't he? So he's kind of immune to the defensive rotation because that's not where we're playing, I imagine. So we've got to look out for what Stones does. And when we see him getting the run of starts in midfield, then that'll probably be a trigger to have a look, yeah.
Yeah. Andy, fancy Stones?
Not so much Stones, but I know that it's going to happen as the weeks go on, and obviously they've got their double. That Edison's going to start coming into conversation again because you're looking for that one-nailed, defender, and it will be people as soon as there's doubles and as soon as the fixtures are nice, people will start talking about Edison again. And obviously, I suppose, do you have to start thinking now who you're going to want from Man City for that double? Like especially us if we've already wildcarded. Whereas Mark obviously doesn't have to think about it.
No, I'm not going to think about it. I mean, sure.
you go Alvarez, Haaland, and then a defender, don't you? Probably Diaz. Yeah. I don't think there's too much to really think about it. I mean, you could go Edison, I guess, but I just wouldn't go near Edison as a pick.
Oh no, I wouldn't either. But he always comes up every time there's a double game week because he's nailed, isn't he?
Yeah, and like Slough to PFK says, Rico Lewis is putting in some absolute world class performances. Particularly in
Flappy's had him, hasn't he, Andy? Flappy had him. He still got him.
He's eaten 2 price drops, I think, as well.
Love that. Arsenal in second, as Andy said earlier, they only seem to be able to keep clean sheets away from home, which is interesting. But tough fixtures to come. Like Saliba are being sold. They've got that Sheffield United game, haven't they? In Game Week 10 though. With their I mean, we saw Ben White score from a corner. So I'm glad that wasn't Gabriel. If I'd taken him out last minute and had to see that. But yeah, I think Arsenal. I mean, Chelsea. This is the reason why I wanted to go for Colwill, because Chelsea are in third with a great XG conceded non-penalty per 90. They've looked solid. They just haven't been scoring, and I think they've only conceded 2 goals once so far this season.
They kept more clean sheets than any other team now this season.
Yeah,
yeah.
And I think when we get to keepers, both Arsenal and Chelsea, with Raya and Sanchez are in the conversation now, right?
They look good because the back four is a good back four, and he's obviously sacrificed Chilwell before he got injured to bring Colwell at left back to add in even more kind of control into that defence. The midfield three is now in the team. Like Casado's now fit, and Enzo had a few injury problems, and that looks to be working because they're all shifting around positions and playing quite well. I don't know. You got to think Chelsea are going to be on the up, really.
What do you think he'll do when Reece James comes back? Because he's suspended for the Burnley game. All the talk is he'll come back versus Arsenal. Bit of a risk to play him in the Arsenal game. I don't know if he will. But when Reece James is back, because he kind of likes to have his fullbacks not marauding forward, and that is Reece James's game, isn't it? So I wonder what we'll see from Reece James, whether he'll be more restrained in that fullback role, if indeed he does get the fullback role, which I presume he will. He's not going to go to 3 at the back, is he? I wouldn't have thought.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's not going to, because he's got to weigh up the. I mean, does Gusto come back in? Or Gusto? Why is it Gusto? Gusto?
Gusto. It's Gusto. You never get it right. It's Gusto.
Yeah. I got it right, and then I panicked and think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he's had the red card, but he's going to be back, and you've got to think he's still going to play some minutes. But I don't think James can come straight back in for Arsenal, surely.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. No. What do you think, Andy? I mean, would you? Any game he plays, he's going to get injured again. That's how it feels.
I'd be surprised. I'd also be quite surprised if people were willing to take that risk on James, considering the price of him as well. Like we've just been saying about how much everybody is and how hard it is to get to these players. When you've got what people are wanting to get to players like Trippier, Robertson, Trent, to get to James, is that that like a kind of midway? I don't know.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, will James in a back four under Pochettino be the kind of player he was previously? I don't know, because we know that he's been playing Colwell left back and instead of Chilwell, so he obviously doesn't want his fullbacks getting forward too much. Maybe he thinks he can play Colwell left and give James a license to attack on the right. Gusto has been getting forward, but not a Reece James kind of marauder, is he? Really, he's not in that. He's not in that league. And yeah, I just think it's interesting to see what we get when James comes back. But you don't think of the Arsenal then? You think I might get a chance out of Gusto for the Arsenal game?
Yeah, but they'll concede. Okay. So.
Oh yeah. I'm happy just to have a sub at this point. Basically, an active sub. I'm celebrating that basically. So yeah.
Interesting with some of the other defences. I mean, Newcastle are in 4th. Obviously, they've been brilliant for people who've doubled up on the defence last few weeks. Brentford, the Burnley game, obviously great for them, and the Sheffield United game too. 3 clean sheets for those players. And then West Ham, interesting one. Obviously West Ham have been in Europe, but they've been playing well. They seem to have a good spirit around them. Bowen probably playing up front. I think West Ham scoring that game, but I can see why people are investing so heavily in Newcastle. And then just wanted to point out some of the teams kind of in the mid to lower range. These are the teams that people are investing in. Liverpool in 10th, Aston Villa down in 13th. That might stem from the kind of the humbling they had in the first game week. They've been better since then. But West Ham down in 18th as well. The likes of Zuma and players when their fixtures turn. Quite nice, and Luton up in 14th. So people like me going for Son captain or Maddison. The defence isn't great, but it's better than some of the other teams. Burnley, Wolves, Fulham, West Ham. Bournemouth,
but they've had easy fixtures. Look, it shows them. So they've never played Spurs up in Kenilworth Road yet. It's a different proposition.
Yeah, and I've seen a few arguments against Son captain this week, being that they've been quite good at home, Luton, but they've played 3 of the easiest teams in terms of attacking wise, and they've only played 3 fixtures at home, haven't they? So yeah, I think obviously that's just a case of it being skewed a bit.
For me, when I saw Berger put Foster through, it was a simple ball through the centre of their defence, and I was thinking, that put Maddison and Son in that situation instead of Berger and Foster. I think they can score.
I've actually my predictions this week. I've gone for quite a few, sort of quite bold ones. Ooh, exciting!
Hold on, what are you saying there? What are you saying?
Just my predictions this week. I've gone a bit.
Oh, have you?
Yeah,
I've gone for a bit.
Maybe.
All right.
Yeah, a little bit rogue. Yeah, I'm looking forward to
Well,
it.
We need a bit of excitement at the end.
We do, absolutely. Just before the wild card. Yeah. Massive shout out to Nigel the Crab. Thank you so much for the super chat. And he specifically said that's for me.
Like half of your mic.
I'll be taking that. I'll be taking that myself.
Unbelievable.
But yeah, thank you. He mentions Almiron as well, who is someone who I think we should be considering, and we'll come on to him when we talk about the midfielders, because obviously a lot of people are going for Gordon, but he's banned this week. Neto is kind of flavour of the month as well. Almiron isn't really being mentioned, and we saw what happened when he wasn't mentioned.
I know. So I thought that when he called that goal in, I was thinking that that's 2-2, isn't it, for him? And he'd be clicking again. It just went for him, didn't it? After I think he had about a dozen games where he's just phenomenal. Yeah. So maybe, I think it's a good shout.
Yeah, I like it. Let's look at the attack for teams. Newcastle and Almiron right at the top. Most chances created, most big chances. Sorry, 4 big chances per 90 is comfortably the highest. In the
that was all. It's all Sheffield United game.
Well, and Villa, they got they had a big score against them as well. They're clearly capable of scoring multiple goals in any match. Apart from against Brighton, we just smashed them off the park. But that's what we do occasionally until we get.
That's what we do
until we get battered in the next game. Brighton are second in the league, although I think we're seeing a big exodus of players, particularly in defence. Estupiñán is being sold by the droves. Mitoma as well. I'm not seeing him in any wildcard teams because the fixtures are so rough. But bear in mind, game week 10, our fixtures are incredible. So
they turn, don't they?
They really do. So,
but while we're on that subject, Mitoma. Is he the go-to if you're getting back on board?
Oh, can I just say, right? And I did post about this yesterday, and I don't care. Ansu Fati yesterday played at number 10, and I got so much stick when I went on the FPL show and said that De Zerbi were playing at 10. Honestly, I had DMs about it. I had people messaging me saying I didn't know what I was talking about. I mean, I didn't, but I was right. So that's all that matters.
Proud of you.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks,
well done, Ad.
Thanks.
Well
done. You both sound proud.
So, is it Mitoma or bust? Or if you're going back to Brighton and you're looking for an attacker, is it Mitoma only?
I don't think it is. Honestly, I think Mitoma's a good shout. I'm wondering. I think Fati in the next few games could be really interesting because he's building up that fitness. He's looking sharper. There might be a role for him now in the side. But I tell you who I've been the most impressed with last few weeks: João Pedro. He's changed 2 games. He's changed 2 games for us when he's come off the bench. I don't think De Zerbi can keep benching him.
The thing is, he's never going to be consistent with his selection, is he? I think we're kind of whistling in the wind if we think we can nail a regular starter. That's my concern. Do you see him changing his ways and like playing anyone 3 or 4 games in a row? I don't see it.
I don't know. I just have this kind of overriding feeling that Welbeck's days are running out in the team. He's been a great servant for us. He's done well under De Zerbi, but I see him in the team with some of the other attacking options we've got, and he's being left behind. Ferguson, João Pedro, Fati, Mitoma. These guys are just the next level up. So it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next few weeks.
It's understandable. He's coming to his best years are behind him for sure. He is super fit and he's obviously stayed at that level. But I agree. I don't think. But I don't look at any of the forwards. I mean, Ferguson's the one. If we know he's going to get a run of starts, and he's the one we'd go to. Mitoma will be popular, I think, though, from game week 10. I think, yeah.
The trouble with game week 10 is that's when Arsenal's fixtures turn as well. With that Sheffield United game. So although it's going to be tempting to get Ferguson or Mitoma or someone, I think our attention. I think Andy and I, on the wildcard, we've got to be thinking, well, how do we get Saka back? Because I don't want to be going into game 10 without Saka. I don't know if you've got him on the wildcard, Andy, but
no, I don't. And it's actually really hard to plan those moves in, even just for game week 10, because a lot of the midfielders that people are picking on wildcard have nice fixtures in game week 10, and Saka's obviously there, and Mitoma's there. There's only so many mids you can pick, so it's not easy.
Yeah, no.
Do you think Saka is in that explosive bracket now, though? Has he gone from being a consistent point scorer to one that is also, 5, 6, 7, 8 times a season hitting double figures? Is he that now? Is that how you see him?
not if he keeps giving away these bloody penalties.
No, exactly. That's right.
And
yeah.
I that is genuinely something that's really annoyed me from last weekend, because obviously you invest in somebody and think he's going to be on penalties. I'm assuming that's just what it's going to be like all year, that they're going to share it round a little bit. And I'm assuming the Havertz one was a little bit of an anomaly because they wanted to get him off the mark.
Yeah, it's him.
But the Odegaard ones happened twice this year.
Yeah, twice.
Yeah, Palace as well.
So yeah, exactly. So you think actually there's no guarantee. What's he on? Like 0.5 of penalties, so whatever that kind of equates to in stats wise. But yeah, I that does annoy me a little bit. But he has been good this year. You know, he has got the points and he's got the assists as well.
I do think Arsenal were they're growing on. I mean, the team data attack data we got on the screen. Team data attack chart we got on the screen isn't. Someone's in the chat saying Az is on the source. I have had.
You're right, Az. Yeah.
I haven't been drinking in a while.
It's an anarchic now. I've
had 1.5 of these, and I'm definitely feeling it. But Arsenal there in 10th with good fixtures over these. You know, that's not where we thought they would be, and we know there was a transitional period with. You know, Partey playing at right back and Havertz coming into the team, and now they've got injuries with Martinelli and Trossard. But still, you know, they're behind Brentford, they're behind Everton, for example, they're behind Chelsea. I don't think many of us would have predicted that at the start, but I do feel like it's starting to build. This game is so key against Man City because Man City without Rodri, they're going to be looking at that and thinking, but what if Saka's not fit? What if he's not even fit for this match? Might he finally, in 87 games or whatever it is, get his rest?
Where do you see that? Do you, I mean, like you said today that he's in contention, that surely means he plays, right?
Got to. If he's in contention, he plays, surely.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, if there's any inkling that he thinks he's fit enough to play, he's going to play because he literally plays him every game, doesn't he? So I think he plays personally, but whether he's fit enough to play the whole 90, I'm not sure. I'm assuming he would be fit enough to play the whole 90, but...
Going back to the Saka FOMO for game week 10, he only got 4 double-digit hauls last season. He has got 2 so far this season, Spurs and Forest. But given that he's, you know, taking 50% fewer penalties, are we scared of a player who only got 4 double-digit returns last season? It's not massive. I mean, he's consistent, like very.
I was scared not owning him this week when I saw him in the lineup.
Returns. So he only blanked in 17 games when starting last season. I think he has kicked on, but I think the flip side of kicking on is he's given up half the penalties. That's the problem.
Yeah, and the thing, like I was just saying there, with when we were doing wildcards, even with Az's last week, is who do you have as a placeholder for him as well? Because at the moment, I've got my 5 midfielders, and if nothing changes price wise, because prices are so tight, it's only Son that I can lose to get to him.
Yep.
Yeah,
and that feels worse as well, because I would say Son is more explosive than Saka.
And they've got Palace away, not an easy game, but you I don't know, you're just not going to lose. I don't see Son ever leaving our teams while he's playing the 9.
Exactly.
There's no way I'm going into Sheffield United at home without Saka.
Really?
No way.
So what, you're losing Son?
Yeah. That's the plan.
You're going to lose Son, even though Arsenal go to Newcastle the game after.
I don't feel great about it, Mark, but I'm not going in without Saka. I mean, it might be maybe losing Maddison, but I love Maddison. Realistically, I'm looking at it and thinking it's going to be Son to Saka, and that's going to be hard when Son scores back-to-back hat-tricks. Probably is my captain, but
so off the back of Luton and Fulham, you think you're going to have the balls to lose Son in game week 10? I think if Son does blank against
you kind of shook your head a bit there. You went, yeah.
I mean, like Son at home to Fulham, I would say that's a very good fixture because Fulham defensively look frail. I would be quite surprised if Son blanks in that home game against Fulham. So, given that we are all backing Son for Luton away, you'll be selling Son off the back of 2 consecutive returns, probably. In all likelihood, I would say you would be. Going to be, I think that's ballsy to go to sell Son, to be honest. Palace is a difficult game.
As logged in tonight thinking we're going to be just ribbing Andy again and again. We're already questioning his wildcard again.
Yeah. Well, I've been telling you your plan. Your plan, Andy, is as wishy-washy as mine is, because we're both going to be in the same situation, aren't we? We're both going to be...
Mine's not wishy-washy. I'm literally saying I can only sell Son to get him, and I'm not even sure I want to do it.
Yeah,
I think Andy's saying he's not worried about not having Saka, right? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying I'm not worried, but I do genuinely think Son can score better each week than Saka. especially if he's playing up top and he's on pens as well.
Yeah.
And this whole thing with Saka is just so annoying that he's giving penalties away to other people when I feel like I thought that he was going to be just the main penalty taker. So yeah, it's pantomime season, as is mentioned, wishy-washy, says the HH. So it's
the thing with selling Son is Palace away, which isn't an easy fixture. Then it's Chelsea home, who have got a good defence. Then it's Wolves away. Okay, that looks good. But then it's Villa. Then it's Man City. The fixtures do turn. They've got. They do. We're buying Spurs players for these two fixtures and going in with 3 Spurs players for those fixtures. Maybe Saka would be my captain in game week 10. That's the main consideration.
And this is the massive argument, I suppose, for the people that are wildcarded in game week 10, is that they would have a lot less Spurs than obviously people that have wildcarded this early.
Okay, here's the thing. So Arsenal go to Seville on the 24th, on the Wednesday, before the Sheffield United game. Now, Saka would have played, presumably, if he plays against City, he would have played against City, he would have played against Chelsea. He definitely is going to play against Seville. Do you not think if ever Saka's going to get rested at home to the worst team in the division, which I would say Sheffield United are at the moment, will be a thing? Do you not think you'll be a little bit worried off the back of the Seville away trip that Saka won't start?
There's no way he gets rested if he's fit. How much more proof? How much more
proof
do you need?
He's never going to get a rest this season.
Mark, he's played 87 games in a row.
No, 87 Premier League games, isn't it?
Well, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's Premier League is all.
Well, he's had rests in the Carabao Cup and FA Cup, is what I'm saying.
87 Premier League games in a row, though, and they're chasing for the title again.
I agree with you, but is Arteta not coming under some criticism at the moment?
He doesn't care. He'll double down. Have you seen Arteta?
They can beat Sheffield United at home without Saka. They
could beat Bournemouth away without Saka, but they still.
Wow, I think that's a harder game.
It is. It is a harder game, but he had one leg.
Boys, calm down.
United at home is probably, other than Luton at home,
stop fighting, Mum and Dad.
Yeah, this is seriously. Sheffield United at home is probably the easiest fixture you could have other than Luton at home, and it'll be off the back of Sevilla away, Chelsea away, and Man City at home. So I think there's 3 very tough, high tempo, intense games for Saka, and then comes Sheffield United at home. You don't think there's any chance that he gets rested?
Not if he's fit.
No. They have got the EFL Cup after that, so you could get rested.
If he is fit to play, he will play Sheffield United at home. I have.
Then it's Newcastle away.
Doesn't matter. He's played in Bournemouth away and in the Champions League just before City.
Yeah, and what's happened?
Well, exactly. Yeah, but it's obvious this was going to happen. He doesn't care. He doesn't learn from things like this.
Arteta cares, and he doesn't learn. Right? Okay.
He will double down on this. He will play Sheffield United at home if he's fit. I have absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind.
I'm not sure I'd have enough confidence to say I'm selling Son in order to get a player that could be rested.
And captain.
Well, all right. We'll see when we get there, won't we, Andy? We'll see when we get there.
Ooh, fun. Andy, you must be pretty upset with Manchester United.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah.
12.
What makes you think that?
12th in the team data attack. Not great. Obviously, defensively, what is happening? What was that Champions League game?
We got a lot of injuries. It's definitely worth saying that. So that obviously didn't help. Martinez being out, Shaw being out, Wan-Bissaka being out, they're all first choice. We're just a mess. We're just a mess in terms of formation. We're a mess in terms of a transition. We're a mess in terms of finishing chances, creating chances. Højlund's looked good, to be fair. Yeah. He has looked a player. He looks like he's going to be a player. I still back what me and Mark said last week, which was that he's still not an option for me in terms of picking him in FPL. I just don't. We're not creating enough for him, and he's still a young lad. Like, he's still got to have time to develop and things. And I just don't think he's somebody I would pick.
I think you're right, Andy. In a confident United team, yes, but this isn't one, is it? No.
Yeah, and even in a confident team, I'd be like, oh yeah, still, hold your horses a little bit. But this isn't that, and we're not free flowing. We're a mess.
Sorry, Mark. Is that you flashing up that
I'm
comment?
highlighting all the things that
There has
annoy me.
been about 20 comments siding with me, and you put up the one
I
that
haven't
sides
seen
with
any
you.
comments siding with you. I can't see anything. I
Oh,
can't see anything.
outrageous behaviour. Sorry, Andy. I don't.
Why we wanted control of the comments.
I didn't want to interrupt. This is exactly why. Yeah, it's exactly why I didn't give you the link to do
Before the
these.
show started, the viewer and listener, Az didn't want to give us access to the comments, did he, Andy? He
Oh, what
was
about
like,
this one from Rich
No, he
Connor?
didn't.
No logic, Mark. No logic to what you're
I don't know
saying.
who this Mark with a C is. Who's that? What podcast is he
Mark
listening
Joblin
to?
from Fantasy Football.
Oh dear.
Anyway, where were we?
Yeah, no, I mean, you'll see my wildcard. I've got no United on there. I did a stream with Seb on the members stream just a minute ago, and he's got Bruno. And even I was like, I just don't see. So he's gone Haalandless to have Bruno, and I just don't see it personally. I wouldn't be having any Man United players.
We're trying to put comments up that agree, and Az keeps unclicking them. He's deliberately. Look, there we go. Look, he disagrees with me. No,
Genuinely though, I'm never giving you access to the chat again.
No, I think United. I mean, the Rashford Fernandes thing. There's still the models still love Rashford and Fernandes. I was looking at review tonight and ran the solver, and it's still saying move Sterling out to Rashford or Sterling out to Fernandes
Really?
and stuff like that for me. Obviously, get rid of Sterling. That's in my mind, but I'm certainly not going to look at United midfielder to replace them. Obviously, it's with the models and with us as well as FPL managers, we remember how good the players they are, and there's no doubt they are amazing players. But there's also no doubt, certainly for Rashford, there appears to be a confidence problem with Rashford, doesn't there? Didn't Ten Hag come to his defence today and was saying, "Oh, it'll click for him"?
Yeah, basically, it's like that. It's like those old footy man comments, and it's like, oh, he's snatching at his chances, and he's not really thinking about it. He's in a bit of bad form, and he is in a bit of bad form. Like he genuinely is. He's not making the right decisions, and it could take just one game to obviously all of a sudden everybody remembers what he is. And it happened the same time last year. Everybody said, oh, he's not that good, and then he went on an unbelievable run for quite a while, didn't he?
He's the most streaky player there is, isn't he? Like he gets going and he doesn't stop, but takes a while to get there.
He can play so well in games you don't expect him to because he's so good on the counter as well. So obviously we're expecting him to score every game. Like, that's what you're expecting from a player like Rashford. And for a midfielder, that's obviously lovely as well. But I mean, they're just so expensive. If he was 2 million less, I think you could go for it. But for the price he is, I don't think he's worth it at all. What is this?
He keeps putting up comments about bigging him up. Now people are just playing it. Oh, never mind. You're right.
Very, very grumpy tonight, Mark, as someone's pointing out.
Childish, isn't it? Childish.
It really is, to be honest. Do you know what? I've had a long week at work teaching kids, and I come on this stream for a bit of respite, and look what happens.
Wants to be amongst adults, and what's he get? I don't know.
Exactly.
Should we talk about goalkeepers?
Yeah, let's have a look at those. Yeah, I mean Pickford at the bottom still.
No respect for Andy's comments from Az and Mark. No, honestly, all people need to do is just tune out from Mark and I bickering and listen to Andy, because everything he just said was genuinely really insightful.
I know. And all we were doing, we're trying to click on ones that agree with us. It's childish.
Nice comment now, anyway.
Who put that on? Goalkeepers. Interestingly, I mean, again, we need to talk about them. The wild cards are being played. I mean, Leno was overwhelmingly the favourite, 2 weeks ago? It shows how quickly things can turn around. Not seeing him in many teams at the moment. Everyone is going for this Turner and Areola.
Turner's getting dropped.
You think? You told me last week he was all right for a bit, but...
Well, to me... Vlachodimos was almost going to get in the team when Turner had a bad game. And let's face it, had the referee had his goggles on, it would have been a penalty conceded and a soft goal conceded. And if that's not a bad performance from a goalkeeper, I don't know what is. So Vlachodimos, I think. And let's not forget, Vlachodimos is a Greek, and our owner is a Greek, and a rather threatening one at that. He'll be looming over.
I love that as a consideration.
You know what to do, Steve. You know what to do, and Steve will be like, "Yeah, all right, Mr. Mariakis," and he'll be picking him. I think at Palace. So I think sadly, Turner will get dropped.
That's not we need 2 weeks for him, don't we, Andy? Because I'm guessing you've gone for the Areola Turner combination, because it just makes sense to me.
I don't want him though. I genuinely don't. I've said this to so many people this week, like, because all I kept, and I tweeted this and it got quite interesting responses, is that I'm going with Areola, I'm going Turner. I fully expect Turner to lose his place eventually. And Mark's saying it's going to happen sooner rather than later.
It doesn't matter, Andy, does it? Does it really matter? Because you're going to play Areola every week. But
then what happens if the problem I've got is, what if Areola gets injured? Because I've got no free funds and he's 4.2. It's not like I can even go to somebody else.
We've never cared in previous seasons, have we? When we've gone for like a 4-5 and a 4 million keeper.
No, and the thing
because
is,
if the 4, but you can move from the 4-5 to someone else in one
having
move.
11 players is overrated, Andy. Just go a week without a goal.
You match me with 10 anyway.
I'm not even joking, because like, if you don't have a keeper one week, what are you missing out on? What's the ceiling of your goalkeeper? Yeah, okay, if you've got Leno, you can get 12 points, and maybe Areola can. You could be unlucky, and the goalkeeper you would have got might save a penalty, but not having a goalkeeper, you're not going to be like hiding behind the sofa, are you? At the haul that the keeper's going to get. I just don't think it's that much of a worry. I think the saving you get by having Turner certainly outweighs that risk for me.
Okay, all right.
And also, Areola could be 4-5 soon anyway, right? So he's going up to 4-3 tonight. I
get the point you're making, Andy. It's just not. I mean, keepers getting injured isn't that common, is it? Like we don't see it that much.
He's got a good deputy though, hasn't he? In Fabianski.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, so have quite a few. Yeah, I don't know. It's not really something that I'm particularly worried about.
The thing is, Andy, if Areola's only got to go up another 0-1, you can get Pickford back. So it's all good.
God, don't. Someone mentioned that. They were like, there is a good nailed 4.4 keeper out there with good fixtures.
I think
he's got good fixtures. I think this is the wrong time to sell him.
Stop it. Can't do it.
Oh God.
1.6 points per 90. Worse than the Luton keeper, which is very impressive.
We've got 1,800 watching.
Friday
night again. 1,800 watching.
It's not. It's not. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
If you are watching, please like the stream. Like the stream.
Like the stream. Tickle the pickle.
Please like the stream. Do subscribe to the channel and do vote for FPL BlackBox in the FCAs, because we want to win again, don't we, Mark?
Oh, we do, yeah. Although this probably isn't our finest work and evidence of how good we are, but yes, we do.
No technical issues so far.
No,
which is good.
No significant human errors tonight. That's good. Yeah.
So Mark, I guess the question for you is, if you were on the wild card, which keepers would you pick before we move on?
I'd go Turner and Areola.
Oh, brilliant!
Because
I've just been slacking Turner off.
No, but I don't think it's. I think Turner is the of the 4 million keepers. He's the one most likely to get his place back, even if he's dropped. Because I don't think Olsen gets ahead of Martinez ever in a month of Sundays. I don't really know how Vlachodimos is going to go and how he's going to adjust. He could be a disaster as well. But I do think he'll lose his place. But I think he has got the most chance of winning it back. Yeah. And I don't think it's about Areola's fixtures are good enough. And also, you play Areola in a tough game anyway, because it's all about save points. If you look at it here, what's he like? Saves per 90, 4.6. That's the highest, isn't it? Other than Jose Sarr and Foderingham. Okay, so he's third best for saves per 90. But even so, that's strong enough, isn't it? To say that you play Areola even in a hard game. I hope Turner doesn't lose his place, but I think sadly he will.
I think it's been interesting. When you went on that other table, West Ham were third from bottom, weren't they, in terms of chances conceded? But if you looked at Areola's XG prevented, I think he's second, which is actually exactly what you want from your cheap keeper. You want them to be conceding chances, but you want your keeper to be good enough to stop those chances going in. So it kind of marries up quite nicely for Areola, even in those even in those poor fixtures. So I think it's good, personally.
Yeah, plus he's not playing in Europe, so he's getting a rest and he's not getting injured in that. So his injury chances are going down, unlike other keepers who play European games and cup games. He isn't going to play in the FA Cup either. He's not going to play in the. Are they still in the Carabao Cup, West Ham? I think they are. Yeah, they are, because they're playing Arsenal. So he's going to get rests all the time when they play midweek. I think he's too good to turn down. And then, do you get another keeper to rotate with him? I don't think it's worth it, because where'd you go? I mean.
Wow,
unless you're going to go to Raya or Leno, but then you wouldn't have Areola, would you? So
Leno was the one, but to go 0.7 up from from Turner to Leno is really tough. Cheers, Tim Mack, by the way.
Yeah, I want to put that comment up.
I think of my mum. I think she's in the chat somewhere.
I should have sent her the link.
Her name's Tim McNorth.
No, I don't care. My homie here saying give the people what they want. No, you have to wait to the end. You have to stick around to see Andy's.
If only it's worth the wait. That's the thing.
If you want to see Andy's mild card, you're gonna have to wait. That's how it is. Defenders. Let's talk about some of these. Cash is looking good, isn't he? In third.
Very good
on this list. 0.53. Mark, I have to say, full credit to you. You called that early on. I wasn't that sold until he scored the 2 goals against Burnley. And then what a surprise! Then suddenly he came on the radar. He only got forward once really against Brighton. He was quite reserved, but he was up against Estupiñán in the first half and Matoma particularly. He just looks a great option. 4.9, 5 million, 5.5. I think you'd pay pretty much any for him at the moment with the fixtures they've got. So yeah, I haven't seen a wild card without him.
No, very popular, and he's going up he's shooting up in pass. I think he's going to go up again tonight, isn't he? So yeah, he's been great for me. I say that he hasn't been great for me because I've missed some of his points, but he's been great for me in terms of I had him from day one, and that's obviously paid off. It was a gamble though because we didn't know how Emery was going to set out. And Dina's been fantastic as well. Let's credit where it's due. Dina's been amazing, and had 3 assists and 2 clean sheets. Dina,
and Moreno's had a setback.
So Dina's not out of the question as well. Double up.
I can't. But then there is absolutely no. I'm sorry.
You can't go Dean. Okay.
I know you have to think with your head, and the past is the past, and all that.
Dean
Can't do it.
Well, you don't. You're not going to have 2 Villa defenders when you've got the prospect of going Diaby and Watkins, or even Luiz as a cheap midfielder. So, yeah, it's fair enough. But the Villa fullbacks have both been excellent.
Yeah. David Toft -4 to sell Saka and or Diaby with Archer first sub. You think? I think we all think they both play, right? Saka and Diaby.
I'm not as sure about Diaby as Mark is, but Saka I think would play personally.
Well, I don't think Diaby's out long term anyway, right? And you're going to want him going forward.
I think Archer's all right this week to play against Fulham.
Yeah, they could score there for sure. Yeah,
I wouldn't do it.
No.
Andy?
No, I don't think I would personally, because you want them longer term anyway.
Thanks.
He doesn't say who he would get though, does he? There, he doesn't say who the Saka transfer in would be for. But...
No, I mean,
I think keep him and play Archer.
Yeah, same. Yeah. I like
for Archer. A hit as well.
Yeah. Manprit, thank you for the super chat. I want to have whatever Az is having. Az is having an Inches cider.
They're nice, by the way.
They're really nice. Yeah, and
they are.
And cheap down at your local Tesco.
How many inches do you normally like on a Friday night, mate?
3.
3. One day it'll be 4.
And that's all she's getting. I mean, right, moving swiftly on from that. Trippier in 6. Interesting. XGI non-penalty per 90, 0.32. It's not massive, is it? It's not. Going back to what we were talking about before, it's not huge though. It's not a huge non-penalty XGI. It's not in the 0.4, 0.5. I mean, Estupiñán's at 0.4, Cash at 0.5. Chilwell's 0.6 before he left, and his assist was fucking jammy, wasn't it? Let's be honest. Makes a tackle and gets the assist. I hate assists like that.
What are you talking about, Trippier?
Yeah.
Oh, come on! It was a fantastic tackle.
Honestly, mate, this is like when Alvarez was getting lucky with his assists and Mark was like, yeah, best decision I've ever made.
Mark, you're telling me that Trippier's assist wasn't lucky?
I'm telling you that it's a very good tackle high up the pitch.
And then Alvin smacks it into the top corner outside of the box. Come on.
I'm telling you, it's a very good tackle.
What about the Estupiñán assist for Matoma that I didn't get earlier in the season where he tapped it to him on the halfway line and Matoma beat 6 players?
You mean that great assist?
Everyone applauded that assist, didn't they? I mean, that's the jammy one.
Completely different.
Trippier winning the ball marvellously high up the field.
It's almost like we're biased.
Let's face it, Trippier's been brilliant the last few weeks, hasn't he?
Oh,
absolutely
unreal. Yeah, I mean, 30 points from 2 weeks. If you got him in early like you did, fair play.
Well, I've got to give Andy credit here because I was on a stream when I was on the verge of. I was saying to you, Andy, shall I go Botman or shall I, while I can afford Trippier, go Trippier? And you were like, no, go Trippier, go. even though he's more expensive, have the chance. And obviously that was before the free assist at Sheffield United. So there was a few people, including Andy, who convinced me there. Late riser on The Wire. I watched the episode of The Wire before doing the trivia move, and Late riser was talking up, go for the upside. And that was in my head, along with Andy, when I pressed the button.
Can you stop talking up the rival podcast for us in the FCA's, Mark, please?
Well, you credit where it's due. Late riser's a big influence on a lot of managers, the way he plays. And, it's been a while since I checked in with him, and he came good for me with a bit of advice that rang true. So, fair enough.
Yeah.
No, obviously Az is an inspiration to us all as well. But,
thank you.
For other reasons.
Not the first time I've heard that, not gonna lie. From Omar, another super chat, thank you so much. On Wildcard, Watkins and Gordon, or Alvarez and Diaby? Brilliant. You all right?
Watkins and Gordon, or Alvarez and Diaby, I think.
Andy?
Yeah, I think so. It's a shame Watkins isn't still on pens, because I think that just drops him down a tier just a little bit. But I do like Gordon. I think Gordon's a really good shout. It's just a shame he's suspended this week. If this was next week and Gordon serves a suspension, I think it'd be quite close. But I think Alvarez and Diaby still sounds better, which, I'm not going to mention too much.
I was going to say, I'll be interested to see what you do with Alvarez, because I think that is a big decision. Because
so will I.
I don't want to, because I left enough money in the bank to do Alvarez to Darwin this week, but I just can't do it.
I can't lose Alvarez.
He's so cheap, though. You can just go to him again, can't you? He's still only 7 mil.
He's just called home a free kick in the Champions League. That was world class.
People are considering losing Haaland. Of course, people are considering losing Alvarez. He's Haaland light, isn't he?
Those were the days, Daniel H, when I was 1,000 in the world. A couple of seasons ago. I bottled that as well. Oh, well.
Is Daniel H your burner? What's going on here? Why have someone mentioned this?
I've got a few of them.
You're just chucking them in. Remember when you were 1,000, Baz? Oh, look.
I remember. Coming back to defenders, then, I mean, who here kind of, to use your phrase, does tickle your pickle? I mean, Porro's in 18th. He's way ahead of Adogi, for example, who's down in 43rd. That's 0. I mean, there's not much in it. 0.19 to 0.12. Basically, the stats don't point to them getting a host of attacking returns. But from what I've seen, I do like Porro. He's the regret. Now I'm not doing Alvarez to Darwin, or I don't think I am. I do regret not going Porro over Adogi, I think.
Yeah, Porro's the one I was going to pick up there, because I think you watch the game and Udogi still got forward quite a bit, but Porro's the one that looks so much more composed when he gets forward as well. He always seems to make the right decisions. Obviously, he got the assist for the Matip own goal, wasn't it? Matip. And he just looks that little bit more assured. And when you're watching him, I think he's one of those players where when he's fit, you want him in your team, and obviously the fixtures are quite nice. So I think he's a good pick. I think Udogi's still a good pick as well, but there's just not enough price difference between them now to justify going Udogi over Porro, I don't think. I think because it's only 0.2 now difference. 0.2. Yeah, so I think if you can stretch that 0.2, I think you get Porro.
Yeah, I think Porro's now outranking Udogi for chances created and shots. So he always was a better prospect for shots. All right there from distance, but he's got that end product, hasn't he, Porro? Whereas I think Udogi's somewhat unproven in terms of end product.
I agree.
I think in his defence, Udogi, he has faced Salah and Saka in the last 2 weeks, so he's had to play a lot more kind of restrained, I think, whereas Porro's been given more license to get forward. So I think there's still a chance that there's not much in it, but I still prefer Porro.
The only thing with Porro is there is Emerson, isn't there? Whereas Udogi doesn't really have anyone competing with him. So there might be the odd benching for Porro, because Emerson hasn't really done anything wrong.
Don't see
the only other one I was going to mention from this list as well is that Fabian Schär obviously isn't on this list at all. Whereas obviously everybody's going Burn, nobody's going Botman because he's injured. Everybody's going Trippier or not going Trippier because he's so expensive. Schär historically has always had such good XG compared to the other defenders, but he really hasn't this year. But he scored an absolute screamer against PSG.
He does it every now and then.
He does have it in him, and I'm just wondering whether he's flying under the radar. He's completely nailed. And obviously with Botman out, obviously he was anyway. But I just feel like this is a bit of an anomaly for the beginning of this season where he just hasn't had any. I feel like there's still that beast of a XG player in there, but we just haven't seen it yet.
I think the gap between Burn and Botman wasn't that big, though. It isn't, as you can see, 0.11 on the XGI non-penalty. I don't think it was massive in terms of BPS either. So I think
0.5 difference is obviously big price-wise.
I think that's the problem. I think when Burn's got up to 4.6 now, and I think as that gap gets smaller, then people will look to Shah. But
I still think Botman's the one.
No, I do.
Lascelles has come in and done absolutely brilliant. I mean, to play 3 games in a week after not playing for so long.
3.9 as well, isn't he?
He's 17, but surely Botman comes back in after international break.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'm holding on to Botman. I mean, his XGI on penalty stats are amazingly level with Burn, 0.11, both of them.
I've got a worry that Botman's injury is a bit more difficult than they're making out. That's my concern.
You said he was going to play last week.
No, I didn't.
He did.
Andy Slippers did.
No, you said on the stream.
No, I mean having missed last week when we thought he was going to play. If it is true that the medical team had to intervene and pull him out last minute, I think there could be. I sold him for a hit this week because I think that he'll go down over the break, and I don't know with any confidence that he'll be back in game week 9. Is my feeling.
You are really chasing this team value. This
I am.
Year, aren't you?
Yeah, no, I'm playing super aggressive with it because I it's an edge.
Fun. You want to try doing a Wildcard with 99.7 to spend, mate. That's
the way.
That's the real quiz, Sandy.
Exactly. Only the elite managers do that, Mark.
No, I worry Botman could be out for a longer spell than they're making out. Is my fear. We'll see, though. We'll see.
Can you even call yourself an FPL manager if you had to build a team with lower than 100 million in your bank? That's what I'm saying. One more question from Manprit. Who should I get, Nunes or Watkins, for Pedro for a -4? And that would involve benching Saka. Nunes or Watkins for Pedro for a -4? And
Nunes is going to play. Nunes is going to play this week against Brighton. The upside of that, I think, is potentially exciting.
He could murder us.
In
fact, there's a player I want to talk about on the defenders that we haven't mentioned.
I think I would go Nunes for the fun of it, because you can always go Diaby to get some coverage of that Villa attack. Whereas, unless you can go Salah, I guess Diaz is there. But I think I'd go Nunes just for the fun. I'm all about the upside. Go Nunes.
Andy?
Yeah, I get that move. I also think there's a world where you don't have to do anything, especially if you're benching Saka. If you think Saka's going to play and you're going to have to bench him and you're taking a -4, I think that's a bit much, personally.
I'd
be tempted to just play Pedro and Saka.
So would I. I'd play Pedro.
Yeah.
Pedro starts against Liverpool. I am convinced.
We've spoken an awful lot on Scoutcast as well, saying that these Brighton boys, even if they're not starting, the XG you put up, and like Pedro's obviously on pens when he comes on too, even if he gets 30 minutes, it's ridiculous the chances he gets even in 30 minutes. He's done it quite a few times this year. So I don't think he's even that bad if you don't think he's going to start. If you factor in the -4 as well, I think it's fine, personally.
He completely changed the game for us in the Europa League last night. I'd be absolutely astounded if he didn't play over Welbeck going into this game. Yeah. So, I think Nunes and Watkins are both great picks, but it's the hit, isn't it? The hit is
the hit. I didn't notice the hit. I've got to say, I think I'm with you. I think I'd gamble on playing Pedro, and
There you go. I'll put this one up. Whoever else says do the opposite and watch that green arrow.
2,000 watching.
Is it?
2,000. Hit the 2,000.
There it is.
Oh, not since the agony of the match of the day live streams do we have this many people watching.
That is crazy. Yeah, thank you.
So hang on. So I'm averaging 2,000 every time.
You have to put your rate up, Andy.
Well,
Maybe you're still stop messaging me about it every bloody day. One player I do want to mention here who's not on the list, and I don't know why it would be because I don't think he started, is Lamptey, right? Because lots of people are looking at Lamptey at 3.9.
Yeah,
easy move from Estupinan.
What do you think?
Played well as well midweek.
He's an unbelievable player. He's always been one of my favourite players in the Brighton team. My biggest problem with him is he cannot play. He can't play a game a week.
No,
he hasn't been able to. There is no way he can play one game every 3 days. It's no chance. No way. He won't start against Liverpool.
You don't think?
We are going to play Igor at left back against Liverpool, and Salah is going to murder us. That's my prediction. I could be wrong. Maybe Lamptey is over his. I mean, he's had so many hamstring problems. That's been his issue. But he can't play. He wasn't even in the World Cup for Ghana. He couldn't play. He couldn't play more than he wasn't being able to play one game every couple of days, and he's our best right back in the team. He's a level above Veltman on his day. De Zerbi would rather play him at Veltman, but the fitness issues are too much. And then Estupiñán's back. He's not a pick for me.
Andy is the Taylor Swift of BlackBox guests. Oh, I think I'll take that. I think I'll take that. Does that mean Mark's Travis Kelce?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. Who are these pop culture?
Can we please talk about some 70s bands that I know?
All right, there's nothing wrong with. I'm not in the 70s bands.
Is he like Billy Ray Cyrus? I don't know what's going on. Right. Yeah. I used to love Achy Breaky Heart. Anyway,
that is true. Yeah. I only know it from South Park, to be fair, when they're doing the. You got served.
Andy, which 4 million defenders have you got in your Mildcard?
What's this? Sorry.
What 4 million defenders have you got in your Mildcard?
I haven't.
You haven't got one?
No, I have not got a 4 mil defender.
I am shocked at that.
Are you?
Well, the only way you haven't got a 4 mil defender is you obviously haven't got Salah or you haven't got Haaland.
He's got a 3.9. He's got.
Hey, as is there. Good man. Mark's little face. You know that loading thing that you can put on someone's head? I was like, you were like, what? Server error.
3.9 defender. Oh, you got Lamptey.
Let me tell you, Mark. No, he's got Charlie Taylor. Definitely. Oh. But let me tell you, Mark, that's as exciting as his wildcard will be.
Look at these two. Oh, dear.
They've got the 2032 viewers off. What are you doing?
2030. Wow. God, has no one got anything better to do at 10:30 on a Friday night? Yeah. Love it. Let's talk about some midfielders. Let's move on to these.
This is where the action is.
Salah in second, 0.75. I am seeing wildcards without him. You've got to have him this week.
But it's funny, isn't it? Because like start of the season, he was around mid-table in this table, and we were like, "Oh, this is a bit disappointing." Do we think Salah's going to make the climb? And look at him now, like he's top more or less.
0.75 is like where his numbers have been. At his best seasons, incredibly high.
I mean, shots per 90 are down on previous seasons, I believe. And it's his creativity and his bonus, isn't it? That is the extra this season. 7 attacking returns though, really
should
strong.
Be 8.
Should be 8. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting if you look at this. If you take Bailey out of the equation, which you can really, the top 3 are Salah, Saka, Son.
Yeah.
I mean, that talk about cream rising to the top. That's
and then it's Fernandes and Maddison too.
Well, okay, you can't. Yeah, Bruno.
They're popular, aren't they? That's my point.
Yeah,
these are all popular names. I mean, Diaz in 7th as well, 0.64.
Yeah.
That's high.
I wanted to talk about him. He's a good pick this week, I think.
I want to talk about because I've got the money in the bank to do Diaby to Diaz.
Yeah.
And if I'd got news from Emery that Diaby was out, I'm not going to. But if I'd got the news that Diaby was out, Diaz would have been the transfer in. And I do wonder, there are going to be wildcards without Haaland. We're seeing Raptor talk about it. I've said I'll eat a hat live on stream, by the way, Mark, if Raptor goes without Haaland on his wildcard.
Yeah, I saw him tweet tonight about, maybe I'm doing it only for interactions.
No, he said he wasn't doing it for interactions.
He wasn't doing it.
Interesting that you said about Diaby because oh, no, hang on. Let me just keep scrolling down the list.
He's right down the bottom.
He's not there.
No, I understand. Yeah.
Surprising, isn't it? Every week we've said this, haven't we, Mark? That we
he's
we
not.
can't spot him.
But 0.41's not terrible, but it's not what you expect, is it? And yeah, I mean, he's had 6 returns though. I mean, that's pretty good. Yeah. I mean, and he could have a lot more than that. He scored a great goal that was marginally offside. So he was very close for having a third goal there. And in the 6-1 demolition of Brighton, which has enjoyed, it's a shame he didn't come out with more. He had plenty of shots though. Yeah, he's a low XG player, isn't he? He has low XG chances and takes a lot of shots that are low quality, but he does the business for the price anyway.
Yeah.
Super chat, by the way, from FPL Rank Chaser says, who's the best 4th mid that is under 6.8 mil? Diaby, Almiron, or Ward-Prowse?
It's Diaby. Easy. Diaby.
Diaby. Long term, Diaby's the one I'd want.
Yeah, I go Diaby, then James Ward-Prowse, and Almer on there.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And there was another one, by the way, from Zubin saying, do I get Darwin for a -4 and captain him? I can't get Salah. So, yeah, I mean, do you think Darwin can cover Salah? No. So would you, if you weren't using your wildcard, or if you already used it, would you get Darwin for a -4 because you can't get Salah this week?
Well, it depends on what the other captain options are. I mean, I think the worry here is that Zubin's just putting the captaincy on it to justify the hit. Now, has he not got Son? If he hasn't got Son, then going Darwin and captaining him is valid, I think. But you've got to be wary of making two bad calls, as in I'm taking a hit for Darwin and I'm going to captain him just to justify the hit. So if you haven't got Son, Zubin, or Maddison, I would say, is probably a good captain choice as well. Then that's a valid move. But don't captain him just to make you feel better about the hit, I would say. But I do like Darwin this week, and as he's petrified of him, which means that
Darwin gets double digits this week.
Do you think? Which means Salah will get double digits if Darwin does, because it'll be Salah providing the chances.
We're going to concede some goals in this game, and Darwin's going to benefit because we don't do well. I said it last week. We don't do well against pacey, strong strikers. Calvert-Lewin destroyed us whenever he smashed us. Watkins destroyed us when they play there. We make mistakes and we get pressed, and it's those.
And also, there aren't many better pressing sides than Liverpool.
We're in trouble. The question with Darwin isn't this week. If I had him this week, he would genuinely be a captain consideration because he's got the injury to Gakpo. You've got the ban with Jota. He's a great pick. It's longer term. After the international break, he goes off to Uruguay. We're not convinced he's going to start. Gakpo should be back. Jota's ban's finished.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it?
This is the issue for me. But if purely for a 1 week punt, I think it's very, very close between Son, Salah and Darwin this week.
Last one, by the way, from me while we're on the mids. Talking about some cheaper mids now. You got Neto in 28th, Gordon in the 30th, and Gibbs White in 54th. Is that the order you'd put them in if you were picking at that price bracket?
No, I'd pick Gordon first.
Even with the suspension this week?
Well, I wouldn't go in for him this week. I'm just talking long term. I think
long term
that Newcastle side, they've just got the confidence. Neto is obviously the single most best asset in that Wolves team. He's got by on 5 assists, and perhaps he should have more than one goal. But I just don't want a Wolves player. Just don't want it.
His underlying stats are better though.
Yeah, I get it, but I think I just think the confidence is with Newcastle and Gordon. I think when he gets his ban, he's going to be very tempting. Gibbs White will play every game now. We've got better fixtures. He's on pens, not a bad option, but and we're getting better as a team and as an attacking team. We're getting better. I think we're going to beat Palace as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if Gibbs White gets a return, and then he might come to the attention of managers. But I think the order is Gordon, Neto, Gibbs White for me.
I think Gordon.
Gibbs White the only one on pens.
Yeah, true.
But he didn't start. He was left out.
Yeah,
but that was a rest, and Cooper came out and said, he's starting next game. He's confirmed starting at Palace.
I'd pick Gordon over those. I just think he seems a bit of a gift, doesn't he? 5'6" in one of the best attacking sides in the league with good fixtures. I know he's got the ban, but in some ways that puts people off. If lots of people are wildcarding this week, and you can afford to bench him, he's going to go a bit overlooked. And I think Neto is going to be popular, but I imagine in 2 or 3 weeks people are going to be going, I could have got Gordon. He's done really well, and Neto's playing for Wolves. That was an error. It's
the fixtures as well. Like Newcastle's fixtures long term. I think you've got the ticker there. Are the best in the league, and they've probably run their if you go to the long ticker that goes up to 19, I think they're top. There you go. So they've got Arsenal at home, Spurs away. Is Man United at home a hard game? Wouldn't say it is.
Wolves are third.
Yeah, but Newcastle with good fixtures are better than Wolves with good fixtures, I would say.
I still just don't back Wolves to score goals. I know they've just had an incredible result against Man City. I know Neto scored got returns in 5 consecutive games, but I don't know. I look at some of these fixtures: Villa, Bournemouth, Newcastle, Spurs in the next 5. They're not that easy, those matches.
The thing is, Neto is the threat, isn't it? So any team facing Wolves, they know they've got to shut down Neto. Whereas you facing Newcastle, there's multiple threats. And Newcastle got players like Guimaraes who can find Gordon in space. They got Wilson who can convert crosses. Wolves don't have those players. So it's all about Neto really for Wolves, and he's still done it. He's still got the output, but it's all stacked in Gordon's favour, in my opinion.
Yep. Anyone else you want to mention for the midfielders?
The only other one I was going to mention to you boys as well, if you either couldn't get to Son or Maddison, or if you wanted to free up a bit of funds, Kulusevski.
Yep.
Yeah, playing well, isn't he? And
you think on the right there, because who are they playing this week? Luton, and they're missing Bell. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
could really help him. I think Kulusevski could be a really good shout. He's
created the most chances, I think, of I think only Trippier and Ward-Prowse have created more chances than Kulusevski this season. It's something like that. His chances creating is crazy high. Also, I thought it was really telling that he was the only one of basically all the attacking options to stay on the pitch against Liverpool. Like, they took Maddison off, they took Son off, they were making changes. And I think Kulusevski's fitness has been something we've maybe questioned a little bit, but he's obviously the fittest one at the moment with great fixtures. So the stats aren't great, but that doesn't really mirror with what I'm seeing because he's such a threat. I like it.
One midfielder we haven't mentioned is at the top of my most wanted and coveted list. Can you guess who it is?
Coveted.
Bowen?
Yeah.
And basically,
he is on fire.
Played up top midweek.
Could be playing central. And I may even take a hit over the international break to make sure I've got enough money to get him. So I may take 2 active players out in Pickford and Sterling in order to get Areola and Bowen. I think Pickford's active, isn't he? No, honestly, I think Bowen will be worth a -4 because if I don't make the move early, he gets priced out. Right? I'm not one out, but getting Bowen for the run of West Ham's fixtures when he could be playing central and he's playing so well, I think is worth a hit for me. We'll get to my team and I'll take you through what I'm planning to do.
Well, I said last week that I'd rather have Ward-Prowse over Bowen.
Would you?
Well, I said last week I had the money to do Bowen over Ward-Prowse. I don't anymore. If I could pick now, I'd go Bowen.
Yeah, I mean it's just a sexy choice compared to Ward-Prowse, isn't it? I mean Ward-Prowse is all about the
sexy.
I don't think I've ever heard you say the word sexy before.
Just remember that he's just said that,
10,
right?
What's that? What? I've said.
Just remember that you said it was sexy. Just remember this for in about 10 minutes.
I said right at the start you'd have Bowen in your team, and you'd be, oh, Bowen, look how cool I am.
No, I really want him in my team, yeah. Because the
Mark's
run
entered FPL mode, says HH.
I have, yeah.
Sexy Bowen.
Time, yeah. No,
Delia agrees. Weird to him, Mark.
Yeah.
Sexy.
Why is it weird? It's like
love it. Forwards. Moving swiftly on to some sexy forwards. Right at the top of the sexy forwards is Darwin Núñez, the best XGI non-penalty per 90 of all players in the league. 7.4 million, 3 goals, 2 assists.
He's never going to be a thing, is he? Never going to get in our team.
The trouble, if there wasn't the international break, and Gakpo had his injury and there was question marks, I think he would be. I'd probably would I do the Alvarez? I don't know. I think he would be a better pick than he is. I just think the international break kind of kills him because I'm just not convinced he's going to start after that.
Well, when Gakpo and Jota are available, it's a lottery, isn't it? And there are always going to be opponents where Klopp prefers like one of those two for the pressing. Darwin doesn't provide that, so yeah. I mean, Nigel, if I do, I know you'd be subscribing straight away. So
not getting into Bowen. There's not even a pun there. Love it. Andy Núñez.
Yeah, I mean, again, I was doing the member stream with Seb before this, and not to give too much away, but he hasn't got Haaland and he's got Núñez. So he has.
He's doing that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's doing that. So he's sold Haaland already. So he's taken 0.1 drop on him as well. So he's pretty sure. I mean, he's loved Núñez always. He loves those strikers that are underperforming. Oh dear.
I removed that comment straight away. I don't know about this Haaland thing. I'm in two minds. I mean, it's the kind of move I would do. I like the I like the fact that people are considering it and doing it. It's exciting, and it obviously frees up a lot of money and means you can go for some exciting picks like that, like Darwin. But the ownership as well. I mean, I don't play with EO in mind, I know, but it's tough, isn't it? I mean, I think it's hard to predict that Haaland. He's got tough games. Yeah, City are bottom of the ticker, I believe. But I don't know. It's a very difficult thing to do, I think, to go about Haaland completely. Not captaining him used to be the thing. Like, are we brave enough to not captain Haaland? Now suddenly we're not even owning him. It's a big leap. It's a big leap.
Did you hear my bet with Sam on the Q&A for Scout today?
No.
Interesting. She's very sort of, I don't know, kind of uncertain on Haaland over the next few weeks, but she's convinced Alvarez is the one, and she's going to start captaining Alvarez over Haaland. She has bet me dinner that Alvarez that basically the difference between Haaland and Alvarez between now and the end of the season will be less than 20 points.
Is this dinner with her, or is she just going to send you a Deliveroo? What's it going to be?
Probably the same as what you promised all our members, Mark. Probably
it'll be you. It'll be you, her, and Lee, won't it? It'll be like an awkward love triangle.
Yeah, as it always is. Yeah. But what is that? I mean, Haaland outscores Alvarez by 20 points between now and the end of the season. Surely.
It's just pure output Haaland, isn't it? I mean, Alvarez is fantastic and in amazing form, and I think over a short period he can outscore him, and has, right? But over the season, Haaland will click, won't he? And it will come good. And it's the big scores, isn't it? Haaland's got Raptors in the house. Haaland's got the big scores in him. He's got the 20 pointers, and he'll get 2 or 3 more 20 pointers, I think, before the end of the season. Don't we think? A couple more hat tricks.
Yeah,
it's going to happen. It's just when, right? Are they going to fall in the period where people are brave enough to go without him? Who knows? I mean, as someone who's previously been brave enough to go without him, I was absolutely destroyed when I did.
But I mean, you didn't have him for Nottingham Forest at home, whereas
there was a reason for that, wasn't there? That was in my naive years where I couldn't have a player against my team. I'm well over that now.
Well, Haaland's in 4th on this list. His XGR non-pit of 90 is absolutely elite, 0.97. I mean, he could have had, similar to Saka, really, he could have had bigger hauls than he has done. And I think if Haaland puts away some of those shots that he missed, wouldn't even be Raptor and people wouldn't even be talking about it, right? Because he would have more points. I don't know. That's where it kind of it doesn't sit with me. I think the biggest problem though is if you're wildcarding and you're not going for Haaland, how the hell do you bring him back? Because you're going to spread that funds around, Trent and Trippier and all these other players.
That's a massive risk.
You're going to have a good bench, and we've seen. I know it's a very anecdotal example, but when Jay
you sell Salah, but you're not going to want to because of Salah's fixtures.
Exactly. But remember Jay Egersoft selling Kane? That is always in the back of my mind. He sold Kane.
Same argument, wasn't it?
Same argument. Sold Kane.
He got back-to-back hat tricks.
Put the funds around back-to-back hat tricks, and the fixtures weren't great. That's why he did it. He did it for exactly the same reason as people are thinking of selling Haaland. But yeah, it's not for me. I wouldn't even consider doing it. I'd rather go without Salah and punt on Diaz, Trent, or Nunes. And I'm not saying I want to do that, but I'd rather do that.
The only thing I will say about people that are going without Haaland is I feel like you do have to ride that until like game week 14, 15. Like, because he is going to score points, and he's got Bournemouth at home in one of those. He's got Brighton at home as well. You can't watch him score goals and go, oh God, I need to get him back. I feel like you need to ride it and know that he's going to do it, but you need to get points from your other players.
Signing the contract going, I will keep this strategy until whatever game week.
And what I've seen a lot of people doing is using those funds and spreading them everywhere across their team, and I don't really like that strategy. I prefer the strategy. Don't get me wrong, you got to use them, but I don't like the idea of just upgrading a few little players. I like the going for Trent, going for Trippier, really trying to go for those other assets that can really bang, if that makes sense.
But even if you go for those players, you're going to have to take a hit in any given game week to get him back. I don't think you'll be able to easily get back to Haaland in 2 moves. I can't think how you would, unless it involves Salah. But I just don't think Salah's going to be on the agenda to sell unless he gets an injury. But yeah, like I guess you can go Salah down to Diaz and then get back to Haaland like that if you wanted to.
Yep.
If you've got a Watkins, maybe.
So I'm just leaning down because my keyboard
You're not.
is
You're
on,
typing out more comments.
my keyboard's on the
He is.
floor, so I'm having
You
to
talk about your 3 inches or something. That's it. Any minute now, these comments are going to pop up, Andy. And he's going to go, "Oh, look at that. That's nice."
Jesus, if you told me when I first started doing BlackBox, I'd hear Mark Southern saying the word sexy and talking about your 3 inches in the same stream, I would have had serious doubts. But here we are.
That's the clip for the Football Content Awards. There we go.
Yeah, just one more.
You probably wouldn't believe that I'd be on her either, mate. So
No, I did my best for you not to be, but
yeah, you did. Yeah,
that's not true. I signed you up to Scout when I was there. I think that was my.
You did indeed.
My legacy.
You saw me streaming on Chatman.
Taking all the credit for your stellar streaming career.
And actually, I think it was a stream with Mark that finally sold it.
Yeah.
No, it was Mark on the pod, wasn't it?
It was. Yep.
Oh, what was that? Back in the day? Oh,
yeah,
well, that was
the
the
Wolf pod
Swarbridge episodes, wasn't it? That was the Swarbridge
the
one. The
Yeah,
Swarbridge.
that's the Mark Swapbridge.
That was excellent.
For people that don't know, I was very excited to get Mark on my pod, and I was like, yes, I finally got like a big guest. And then on the pod description, I put join Andy and Mark Swapbridge for the.
You put it on the tweet as well. It was on the tweet.
And Az was like, "Who's Mark Swapbridge?" I was like, "Oh shit," and I had to quickly change it.
So good, Mark Swapbridge. Yeah.
Pupil in your class, right, Andy?
Yeah, he was.
But am I going on Andy's stream tonight? I don't remember saying that.
Yeah.
Hoyland for. I mean, we mentioned him earlier, but I mean he's down in 27th. It hasn't even been 3 starts. 0.31 though. It's not exactly. I don't know the most.
It's all I test with him at the moment, though, and he is passing that. But you want United playing better, like we said earlier. Yeah. That's the thing. I think if you're looking at forwards, it's a small pool, isn't it? Really, you can't look at Newcastle yet. It's Alvarez, it's Watkins, it's Nunes, it's Haaland.
Well,
who else?
One player I do like, and has got gorgeous fixtures in the next 3 is Solanke. I do like Solanke. He's on pens as well. He's got Everton away, Wolves at home, Burnley at home. You can't get much better than that in 3 fixtures.
I'm not convinced by Bournemouth version 2, though. Are you? Really?
I don't know. They are still quite attacking at times. He's only 6.4 and he's on pens. He's done well this season already. I think he's all right. Yeah. He's not obviously up there, but I think as a third striker, I quite like him.
He's up against Pickford, Mark.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
He'll find a way, won't he? He'll find a way of scoring against Pickford, that's for sure. Yeah, it's not a big pool of players, is it, though, the forwards that we're tempted by at the moment.
One player you haven't moved for, Mark, who is clearly going up in value, and interested to get your opinion of him, how essential he is on a wild card, is the 23-point man, Watkins. Highest scoring player in the game now, I believe.
Yeah.
If I was wildcarding, I still wouldn't have him.
No.
But I feel that's stupid.
I think you've got to have, if you're going without Haaland, you've got to have Watkins. Absolutely. Because that's going to be your path to get Haaland back if you have to. I still think I'd still rather have Diaby because of the price difference. And I think, obviously Watkins has got the points. If Watkins had pens, I think that would be a done deal. But without pens, I think that's the issue. Yes, he's got the hat trick, but he's still he's still a frustrating player. Is he now, a top finisher overnight? Obviously, his conversion rate has gone up to 18.2, but it wasn't that a couple of weeks ago. It was down below 10, which is what we've consistently seen since he arrived in the Premier League. He's always been a waster of chances and with a low conversion rate. And obviously the Brighton game has boosted it. So the jury's out as to whether he's made that jump up amongst the elite finishers like the Callum Wilsons, the Haalands and so on, who have got that high conversion rate consistently.
Do you know what his XGI was in the Brighton game without looking?
About 4, was it?
Ambi?
No, I would say a bit lower. I would say about 2.5.
0.98.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. You can see the smugness on my face as I reveal that. That's that. Yeah. I mean, it is eye test with him. And sometimes you want the player who doesn't do the dirty work. I do wonder if, this is what I said on the pod with Sam earlier in the week, I wonder if Diaby's doing too much of the dirty work, doing all the runs and making things happen.
Maybe.
And it's just Watkins there, just putting the tap-ins or scoring the goals. I mean, I think he's a great option. And I think if Andy and I had more money and we were wildcarding this week, I think Watkins would be pretty much locked in. But
you're not going to have. I still would rather have. If you've got Haaland, I'd still rather have Alvarez because if you've got Haaland, you need the money. Whereas, Alvarez is saving you at least $1 million, isn't he? So, going Haaland and Watkins, I think is restricting what you can have elsewhere. But if you're not having Haaland, Watkins is a must-have, I think.
Yeah, agreed. Right, let's talk about some fixtures. I promised bold predictions from.
Have you gone mad?
Mad. I've gone for some big scores. I
Wow.
think. Yeah. Luton Spurs. I think Spurs absolutely kill them. And I haven't taken the captaincy off Son all week. I think Luton have played, like you said earlier, Mark, Luton have had good fixtures. They've come up against a decent team and I'm doing the fingers, in Chelsea, and got thrashed. And Chelsea can't score a goal against anyone. What's going to happen when they're playing at home against a team like Spurs in the form they're in at the moment?
Confidence is flowing, isn't it, in that Spurs team? And I think, the fullbacks will get forward, both of them, because they won't have to play shackled because Luton don't have that threat, I don't think. So I think we'll see Udogie and Porro high up, Maddison in between the lines. I don't think that Luton are good enough to shut him down, and then Sons runs off the ball. I think his movement would be too much. So I think they're going to win. I wouldn't say it'd be 5-0. I've gone 3-1. I think Luton might get one at a set piece, but
Andy, more conservative, 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0. I think it's still away from home. Kenilworth Road isn't exactly a place most teams are going to want to go this year. Is it not because the opposition's hard, just because of what it is?
They can't get in.
Yeah, exactly.
Pressing them to grin.
Yeah. So it's I've gone conservative. I think Maddison or Son will still get a return, but I think 2-0. Like I said, I think it's probably just been a little bit conservative.
I mean, we have seen Sheffield United. Obviously, we all thought that was going to be a big score for Spurs. But I think Spurs are growing each week and they're learning how to play with each other a bit more. And I think Luton are going to attack more than Sheffield United in that game. They'll play the low block as being suggested, but I don't always think the low block means teams are going to keep it to 0-0. Like, I just think they're going to invite so much pressure, and with Maddison there and Son playing.
It depends, doesn't it? If there's an early goal, that's the key. Early goal, it could be a 5-0. If Luton can keep them down to 1 before half time, I think it'll be a lower score, obviously, but a goal in the first 10, then Luton are in trouble. Yeah.
Burnley, Chelsea. Andy and I both going for a 1-0. Mark, you've gone for a goal for Burnley. I think 1-0 seems the most likely here. That'd be great. Oh, the Colwell boys. Maybe they're breaking up. Andy, I haven't seen the Wildcard. I'm guessing Colwell's not in it. He can't be, surely.
I'm not going to say anything until we see it, mate.
Don't.
But yeah, 1-0. I think for me, this was one of the easiest results. I thought Burnley are going to struggle to score. Chelsea seem to be quite good defensively, and Chelsea struggle to score, but I can see them nicking one past them, so 1-0 made sense to me.
Yep, Greg Frost has called it. Garden Centre game.
Forest always get the Garden Centre game. What's going on?
Shock.
Obviously 5:30 is peak time, to be honest. That's a good time to go, because you can get back for Strictly as well. So, really good.
I can't actually find the Garden Centre logo. Hang on. Oh, no, that's
not it.
No, I know it's not. I don't. It's going to be that. Oh, no, it's gone.
Oh.
Everton, Bournemouth. I mean, as FPL Alexander-Arnold says, as if you're both going for a pick for the clean sheet. No way. I've gone for a... Have you seen Everton's home record? Bournemouth won this. Bournemouth nicked this 1-0.
I'm going on the basis that Andy's getting rid of Pickford, so therefore it's going to land.
That is, I like that.
That's basically what I did, yeah.
That's the only logic.
It's bound to happen.
Fulham and Sheffield United. I'm backing an Archer return here. I think Archer's going to come off benches for people and get something in this. I've gone for a 2-1 Fulham. Yeah. You've both gone for a 1-0, but I think Sheffield United scoring this.
I'm expecting a Leno clean sheet.
Yeah, sadly, I just don't. United have no threat. Sheffield United have no threat. Even against that Fulham defence, I think they'll just nick it. Well, I think it's going to be a very bad game. Very bad game.
Manchester United, Brentford. We've all gone differently here. Mark's gone for a 1-1, a draw. Andy, you've gone for an optimistic 2-1 Manchester United victory. I've gone the other way. I've gone for a 2-1 Brentford.
Yeah,
they're in a bad place at the moment, Man U. I mean, Brentford aren't great, but
I don't see us keeping a clean sheet. We've got Anthony back, who's supposed to be playing and starting. So I think we'll look better formationally with him in there. So I think we'll nick it.
Yep. And then Palace Forest.
He's optimistic, though.
Yeah, just a bit.
It is optimistic.
Garden Centre game. I've got 0-0. We've all got different here as well. Mark's gone for a 1-0 Forest. Andy's gone for a 1-0 Palace. I mean, who's going to get the goals for Palace now? Eze's out.
Well, who's going to create? I think we, on paper now, our team looks better than theirs. I think our midfield looks stronger than theirs. I mean, we're not, Will Hughes, Schlupp. I mean, just don't see it. Sangala's starting to look like a player in midfield. Mangala's playing very well. Dominguez has looked good since he's arrived. So those three in midfield look strong. I don't know who he'll play out wide, but if it's Hudson-Odoi or Elanga, and then Gibbs White will definitely play, I think we've got players to trouble them. What have they got? They got Jordan Ayew, Edouard's out, Eze's out, Elise's out. They just don't have. I don't know. They haven't got a lot. Their best bet is to nick a goal at a set play. Yeah, so it could be 1-0 either way. Yeah, they could do. Yeah, but I think we've got the quality to get a result there.
Yeah, I think they'll frustrate you and then get a set piece.
Yeah.
I mean, going from the obviously the most boring match of the week in that game to one of the two most exciting games, which is Brighton-Liverpool, the 2:00 kickoff. I mean, it's going to be a great game.
Is it live? Is it live, that one? Yes, it is. That is the live game.
It's got to be. It's going to be a great match. I've gone for
That's going to be a great Sunday.
I know. I've gone for a 4-2 Liverpool. There's goals in this, and like I said earlier, Salah returns. I think Salah gets maybe a goal and assist, but I think Darwin's going to be... I never actually normally predict this, but I think Darwin top scorer this week in FPL. Really worried.
Even in a 5-0 to Spurs, you don't think Son will be top scorer? Okay.
It's close. I think they both get 15.
Okay. Richarlison, I'm going with.
Yeah, 4 goals for Richarlison.
Please no. Yeah. If I had Darwin, Salah, and Son, I would be very, very torn between Darwin and Son this week. Very torn.
Yeah, I'm back in Liverpool as well, 3-1, and you've gone 3-2, Andy. So we're all, none of us are buying seeds during that game. No chance.
Yeah. I can see there being a lot of goals very quickly in that game as well.
Yeah. We're going to make mistakes. They're going to press, and we're going to make mistakes. It's just what's happened. West Ham, Newcastle have all gone differently here again. I think West Ham get a point here against Newcastle. Mark, you've gone for a comfortable Newcastle win 2-0. Andy, you've gone for a 2-1. I really need West Ham to score with no Newcastle defenders in this game.
I just think Newcastle look so good at the moment. I mean, the confidence they're going to take after that PSG result, and they, what have they got? They conceded 1 goal in the last 5, is it? And that was to PSG. I don't know.
West Ham are confident though.
They are, but I think they are limited in what they can offer. I think their main threat is Bowen and set pieces. I think Newcastle cope with set pieces. Bowen is the key, right? Can he unlock Newcastle? Possibly, but I back them.
Yep. And then it's the Midlands derby, Wolves Villa. I've gone for a draw. Another slightly strange result. I just think if form goes out the window. Villa away from home haven't been that great. And this is Wolves are coming off the back of an incredible result, and obviously Villa have played in the Europa League as well. I don't know. I think Wolves get something from this game, so I've gone for a 2-2. You both disagree. Mark with a 3-1, Andy with a 2-1.
I do agree. Villa are definitely different away from home, and I probably didn't factor that in, but they are different away from home. But I've still gone 2-1. I think I have a bit too much for them.
After saying Wolves don't score and Neto's useless, I'm back.
There you go. 2 goals for Wolves. Yeah.
And then obviously the biggest game of the weekend is Arsenal-Man City. Can't wait to watch this. I've gone for an Arsenal win. I think Arsenal... I'm going to say it. I think Arsenal win this game comfortably. I've gone for a 3-1. Mark's gone for a 2-1. Andy's gone the other way, a 2-1 City. It's Rodri. Rodri out. Rice is going to dominate that midfield, I think. This is going to be a huge game for him. Rice and Odegaard in that midfield against Man City at the moment.
Partey's back as well, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's not... He's no... Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
No,
yeah.
So they got more.
Exactly. More depth. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought we were talking about Silva.
The Daily Mail have broke that Saka's cleared to play. Is that news? I mean, I took the fact that Arteta said he was in contention as that, but I think he will play.
He will definitely play. Yeah.
It's just Sheffield United home in Gameweek 10 that he'll be rested, Delia, don't I?
Saka could be their undoing if he's not fully fit and doesn't play well. And you're carrying a player. We've seen that before with Kane in the past.
It's all stacked in Arsenal's favour, I think. I just think across the pitch they look stronger. The momentum is with them as well. Haaland's going into the game, having been frustrated in recent matches. Alvarez is obviously their player in form, but I think Arsenal can stop that. As you say, they've got Rice to pick him up in that hole. I think it's there for Arsenal to win. And if they're going to win the title, they've got to beat Man City. I think that's clear, right? They've got to win these games because that's what tripped them up before. They lost them both.
Well, Babatunde in the chat saying City win for sure, man. Arsenal players' mentality crumble when they face them, and we've seen Arsenal outplay Man City in games last season and still lose the matches. The
mind games are definitely in City's favour, definitely in Pep's favour. And you do wonder whether there's like a master versus the apprentice thing, and Arteta just shrinks a bit when he comes up against Pep, and his team do the same. I mean, we've seen it on the pitch, so we'll see if it happens again. I mean, if it does happen in this game, when the odds are more in Arsenal's favour, then there might be something in that. So,
and you've got the opposite view. You're saying a City win here.
I do, yeah. I think Arsenal are going to remind us again why they're not ready to basically beat City and go further in the league again. So, yeah, I think it'd be 2-1. Even without Rodri, I feel like Man City are just going to do a job against them again.
Yep. Oh, City going to target Zinchenko. He's not great. He is great. I love.
Well, I mean, they know he's going to come inside. He's going to play inverted, and defensively, perhaps he could be found out. So, who would play out there on the right though? That's the thing. Doku's on the other side, right?
So interesting with the chat. It's so divided. Some people saying Arsenal going to win this comfortably. Others saying we're idiots for saying they will. It's such an exciting game, isn't it? I can't wait. Yeah. Can't wait to watch it.
Palace Forest, you mean? Yeah, it's a cracker.
Yeah, obviously. We are nearly at Andy's Mildcard, but
I got to go to bed in a minute.
Unbelievable! Can't wait.
We're at 1:46. It's 2 hours. BlackBox. You know what you signed in for. Captain's data just before we do. Interesting week. I mean, we've got 3 teams on the screen here: Man City, Liverpool, and Spurs. Haaland is still going to be highly captained this week, despite having the difficult fixture. For me, though, it's between the Liverpool players and the Spurs players. Son for me is the standout, I think. But yeah,
this is definitely a week you go against Haaland, which, surprise, surprise, it's a week that people are selling Haaland. Right? Is that any coincidence that in a week, finally, where we can go against Haaland with a degree of confidence, which I would say is probably the first of the season, suddenly people are going, oh, do I need him? Now, that's not a coincidence, is it? And that we talk about biases, in the game. Surely this is one that people who are going, no, I think I can go without Haaland. They're saying that in the week where they're not putting the armband on.
Would Ross be saying he'd go out Haaland if they had Brighton at home this week?
No. I don't think so. So it's easier to go without him. And I can see the logic because the next 3 games, are they difficult? No, Brighton at home is not a difficult game anymore, is it? Brighton at home they could tear you apart.
What did I say about strong, pacey strikers? And he's the best. He's the best in the world.
But then the reason why the ticker's there is so you can compare. Like presume if you're not having Haaland, you will have Son and Salah. So you've got a great rotation for the captaincy. And it doesn't really give you any problems because if you look at the way that the Liverpool and Spurs rotate, you're always going to have a good choice for the captaincy without Haaland. So there's no question that is the case. But of course, it's the damage that Haaland's doing to you, because of the effective ownership, which I don't want to bring that into it, but it is going to be a factor. And is he fixture proof? I think he kind of is. I think he's proven that he is a flat track bully, but he can do it against anyone. That's the thing. He can get a brace or even more than that in any of these games. So I don't know. I think it's brave, and it's the kind of move I would do. I'd probably be a hypocrite if I'm saying that I wouldn't do it because I probably would do it as well if I was in that position. But I think it's a tough one, obviously.
Yep. Oh, do you know what? Let's go straight into it. He says. He says after 2 hours.
Yeah.
Andy,
without hesitation.
You're so impatient, Az. You're so impatient.
This is it. I can't wait. Oh, look at that. That screenshot actually went straight in. I'm really happy with that.
Oh,
come on then.
This is not my wild card.
That's not it. No, okay, right.
This is Andy's current team.
Okay, what does Plan FPL say it's going to score?
I'm really nervous all of a sudden.
Very good question mark. 88%. That's high.
Oh, that's a bar. That's a bar to reach, isn't it?
What you want, Andy, is if
Stretching,
your
man,
new
you're
team to score lower. That's the secret.
Yeah, that is.
Right,
Okay, so what shall I do? Should I do keepers first?
It's where start with the.
Yeah, I'm going to do keepers first.
Are you ready for this ham
obvious.
sandwich of a wild card, everybody? Here it comes.
Areola and Turner.
Keeping
Areola and Turner in goal.
Okay.
Areola and Turner.
Yeah, by the book. Yeah.
By the book. Remember, I've been building this since Saturday, all right? And I've chased a lot of prices.
Yeah. Areola and Turner, they're in. Actually, no.
Okay.
Can you just tell me which of your players have remained? Because then I'll take the rest out.
So the players that have remained are Haaland.
No.
Oh.
Wow. Okay, that's fun. You're taking a Doge? Okay.
Have you taken a Doge? Yes, I have. That's all right.
Someone's biting already.
Look, I've had a 2-litre bottle of Heineken. I'm ready. All right, here we go.
All right.
Okay.
And Turner stayed because you had him.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yes, and Turner stayed. Yeah. So next up is Pedro Porro.
Yep, like that.
I did have a doggy when I first did this, and then, as in on the Saturday, and then and then by Monday, I think it was, I put Porro in, and I loved it too much. So yeah.
The glamorous choice.
Yeah. Next up is Tyreek Mitchell.
What?
What?
Yep, Tyreek Mitchell.
Hold the phone.
Tyreek Mitchell.
Yep.
You have had a litre bottle of Heineken.
How much is? Why would you go Mitchell over any other Palace defender? Mitchell's 4.5. Why would you
pick Mitchell over like Gahey? Yeah.
Yeah.
I have gone for Tyreek Mitchell. Tyreek Mitchell's underlying stats are better. Tyreek Mitchell's underlying stats are better than Gahey's. Anderson's are much better than either of them.
We can check.
Yeah, of course. Adam Anderson's different level, but
yeah,
I was not ready for Tyreek Mitchell.
Tyreek Mitchell, Grant Mitchell will be more likely. I'd have thought.
His fixtures are nice moving forward.
Is he?
Yeah, I know that, but that's why I go Gahey. I mean, Tyreek Mitchell doesn't go up for set plays at all, does he?
Okay.
He's very rarely ventures.
Oh, his XG is ridiculously low, but his XA isn't too bad.
Okay, Tyreek. I mean, how many assists has Tyreek?
Picking a Palace player for XA.
Well, no, I'm picking a Palace defender for clean sheets, and obviously he's 4.5. Yeah, you'll see why as we go on.
All right.
He did get 2 assists in the last 3 seasons, Mark.
Mark, stop doing that face. Stop it now.
Yeah, all right.
You say what you want, but stop with the judgy face.
It's not nice when it's on the other foot, is it, Andy?
Right.
Tyreek Mitchell's in. I mean, everyone laughed at me for Colwell, to be fair.
Next up, absolute no-brainer, Matty Cash.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
they're literally like,
I'll give you that
I genuinely think he is almost at the point of being essential if you're on a wild card. I'll carry on with defenders.
Please do.
Dan Burn.
Yep.
Good pick.
It's really hard in terms of that because obviously straight away I was like, I want Trippier, but trying to get Trippier when our team value was as low as it was almost impossible. And I toy with share.
Don't bring me.
I'm enjoying it. Keep saying it. Yeah.
And obviously, Botman would have been the pick. Botman's going down again tonight as well, by the way. So Dan Burn, and then my 5th defender.
We know this one.
3.9 million is Tariq Lamptey.
Oh, you've got Lamptey.
I have, yeah.
What an unbelievably terrible signing that is.
Apparently there was a spider on my air sign behind me, so I'm on alert now.
Lamptey's going to piss you off.
Lamptey?
Yeah.
Do you know what I love, Az? You're either, this is such a vanilla pick, or whoa, that's a dangerous pick.
Oh yeah, you're 3.9 defender, Andy. Whoa.
Have you looked at Mitchell's rotation with someone then? Because
what's that?
I mean, you're going to play Porro, Cash, and Burn most weeks.
Yeah.
Does Mitchell rotate well with one of your mids or something?
Just wait. We'll get there.
I'm just trying to find a reason to have Mitchell. That's all.
If Mitchell was Gahey, though, you'd be like, that's fine.
Exactly. I think a Crystal Palace defender for that coverage is absolutely fine.
Yeah. I don't think you like it. But...
There's something behind me. Apparently, I'm worried about this. I'm getting Ripley in alien moments here. I don't know. People see him as an insect.
I hope it's the. Imagine Mark getting savaged by a spider.
Savage by
10
side.
Wow.
11. Yep. Okay.
Right, first midfielder is Mo Salah.
Who's he?
Yeah. Sensible pick.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going to do this in a different order to what it appears on the screen now. Second midfielder is Son.
Yep.
Another.
Third midfielder.
Sorry, can I just do this? Because this.
Are you picking it for him? Do you know what he's going to do?
Oh yeah.
Oh, go on then. Go on then.
Pretty obvious, isn't it? Madison.
Yeah.
Diaby.
Bowen. I don't know if he's going to pick Diaby. I think he might go 4.4.
He must do, because he's not going to have no Villa attack, is he?
Go Watkins. He might go Watkins because he hasn't got
He
Alvarez.
can't afford
He hasn't got Alvarez. I'm going to go...
Well, this is fun.
Anderson.
Right? No.
Okay.
He thought he knew it all, didn't he, Andy?
He did, yeah. And did he?
Gordon?
No. So it is Bowen. It's I've gone Neto.
You've gone for Neto. Okay.
I have indeed. I've spoken to an awful lot of Wolves fans this week, and there's an awful lot of them that are saying he's a completely different player this year, and they're playing different football this year as well.
That's the trick, Andy. If you want an opinion on Neto that's not going to give you any degree of bias, you go and speak to an awful lot of Wolves fans. That's very clever of you, Andy. Very good.
Yeah, I know. Do you know what? None of them said a bad word, so
No,
he must be a pick.
Amazing, incredible.
He must be a pick. I've also got 8 Nori, and I've got Huang as well.
Why are you having that conversation?
I just find that interesting because that surely rules you out of Watkins. So no Villa attack.
Does it?
Well, I don't know.
Ooh.
So
prove me
my
wrong.
second striker is Archer, and my third striker is Ollie Watkins.
It is Watkins. You can afford it. You can't.
Yeah.
I can.
Your bank here. You can't.
Yeah.
I did this on Saturday, and I've gone from 99.7 to 100.6. So there is a massive difference in their prices now to when I got them.
Wow. Look at that.
So you have gained 1.2 million in a week.
So literally, and like I said, I have been playing a bit of price change as well. So Bowen I got in last night. So I got in Diaby. He went up at the beginning of the week, and then Bowen went up at the end of the week. So I got, well, not that makes a big difference actually, but I managed to get players that obviously, I wouldn't have been able to get at the beginning of the week. So yeah, so that's the team at the moment anyway.
Are you playing Mitch over Burn this week?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, 98% says plan FPL. So, I mean, doesn't get much better than from 88% to 98%. Interesting. I mean, your issue is you've got to play Neto every week.
Yeah, it is. I mean, when I first did it, so basically when I first did the team, it was Gordon. So I picked Gordon straight away. And then obviously I had to play Burn, and I was looking at it and just thinking, Neto just kind of slipped in quite nicely. And I was looking a lot at him. I looked up a lot of his underlying stats, and they were better than Gordon's. They were better than Gibbs White. And I was just looking at it and thinking, actually, that might be quite a nice, fun pick to go with. But obviously, it is Neto for Wolves, so maybe it's not as fun as I want it to be. Gordon, I liked. I was annoyed he was suspended, but in a way, I was like, actually, do I just get him this week because nobody else is going to, and then I can play him obviously after this week. But yeah, my other big thing, because I was quite high on Watkins before he scored his hat trick and got his assist as well. But I do like the idea of going for Diaby over Watkins and obviously Alvarez, and it just frees up that extra money. The money is so ridiculously tight. Like, it really is. And
so you could go Diaby over Neto and then get Alvarez, could you?
Yeah, I could do. Yeah. It's what I do with the money. I can't go up to a Trippier. And I could also go James Ward-Prowse over Bowen, but I don't fancy that. I do fancy having Bowen.
If I was Wildcard in this week, I'd go Watkins over Diaby.
Yeah, him maybe not being available this week, I think is quite significant. The thing I do like about Watkins as well is if I've made a mistake, I can just move to Alvarez. Like I can literally just make that move really quickly. And I keep thinking that, like, in terms of like exit routes, it's the one thing I don't like Neto for, is there's really not an awful lot of players I can get to. Because obviously Neto, what do I go to? Morgan Gibbs White? Do I go to Gordon? I suppose is the other one I get to. But yeah, I like genuinely, it. I don't mind it. I think Lamptey is one that I got excited about straight away, and then afterwards I was a bit like, yeah, that's probably a transfer waiting to happen. So that'll probably turn into Taylor, to be perfectly honest. But
yeah, I think basically your bench defenders have got to be someone who plays, haven't they?
Yeah. Lamptey could be funded for a bit, but I think he's just going to be a transfer waiting to happen eventually.
I just wonder if we're going to use him in Europe to try and get through this group, because we're not doing that great. And I think if he plays on Thursday, maybe he does play against Liverpool. Like I said, maybe he's ready to play more games, but I can't see it happening consistently. I just can't see him getting consistent run of Premier League games.
Yeah,
that's a good.
I will say as well, Neto. People are laughing at the Neto pick. People would have laughed at the Neto pick 4 or 5 weeks ago, and he's killed it since then. So I don't think he's a bad pick. I think people are obviously, they've been hurt by him before, and he's playing in a Wolves team. I think those are the two biggest things that are kind of going against him personally.
Is my mic that bad, by the way? Because lots of people are saying I'm really quiet.
I can't hear it, but
you're quieter than us. Yeah, it's lower quality, but it's fine. It does the job.
60 quid from Amazon.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So I don't like Neto. That's it. That's basically it. The rest looks really good. I'd go Gahey over Mitchell, but neither of them are going to get any attacking returns. But I think Gahey's got the slightly more set piece threat. But that's it.
Anderson would be the one, obviously, and I have toyed with having Johnston instead. But there's no other than 4 million defender I'd want that would play every week that I could play if I wanted to. So
4.8 now, Anderson.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he is. I mean, the stats he puts up probably makes that 0.3 worth it over Mitchell and Gahey. Like, he is going to get an attack and return instead of the other two. But yeah, it's tough. I think they've got a good defence, and I think it's not bad having one of their, cheaper defenders on your bench, basically.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's all right.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, be all right. You'll be all right with that.
A bit disappointed, lads.
Yeah, I mean, you've got all the bases covered. I think you're going to have the captains with Son, Salah and Haaland any week, aren't you? So that's the key thing, I think.
The starting Neto makes this a little bit more interesting than I thought it would. But I'm also conscious that you're only doing that because you've got no money.
Oh, yeah. Literally, yeah. It's terrible trying to get the money. And obviously, as soon as you've got Haaland, Watkins, Maddison, Son, Salah, I was like, there's no way I'm having Trippier. But I think Burn's fine, to be perfectly honest. And actually, I wasn't that keen on double Newcastle defence once I started going.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. No, it's not too bad. We are now over the 2-hour mark, so we should probably go through our teams quite quickly, Mark.
Yeah, go for it quickly. Yeah, people dropping off now. They've had the Mildcard there. That's what they came for. So
2,200 watching still.
Crazy.
Yeah, so going in this week, my 2 transfers this week were Son in for Saka and Burn in for Botman for a hit. Did that to protect the drop on Botman.
If Derby's out, you're screwed.
If Derby's out, I'm down to 10 men.
If Sterling's out again, because they won the game.
He won't be out. He'll get on the pitch, won't he? He'll get on the pitch.
9 starters. Oh, this is it. This is it, Andy. The comeback's on.
I don't mind. I mean, like, I think...
don't mind.
I don't mind having 9 men. I'm so good. I don't even need 11.
I don't. The objective is to get through this period and get basically my next 2 moves will be Pickford to Areola, Sterling to Bowen, and then I'll have Maddison, Bowen, Diaby, Son, Salah, Haaland, Alvarez, and I'll have Trippier in the team. I won't have a bench, but I'll have a hell of a good 11, which will look as good, if not better, than most wildcards, I would say. Because you've just said you can't get Son, Salah, Haaland, and Trippier, but I'll have them. And I'll have the same goalkeeper pairing as you. I'll have Cash. I'll have 2 Newcastle defenders. Okay, I've taken a couple of hits to get it, but I'll have a couple of hits and I'll still have my wildcard left. And I'll have a stronger team than most wildcards. So I think it's worth it just to go, I might have 10 men. I think a couple of weeks of red arrows, I'll take that in order to get through this period. So I probably will get a red arrow again, but I'll have to deal with it.
You're saying this as if these are red arrows from previous years. Do you know what a red arrow is like this year?
I do. I've got
red arrow is 500k to 2.5 mil.
If I put the ranks on the screen, we could have shown it.
Yeah.
I've got to hope that I don't get a big red arrow. I don't think I will. I think there's enough players there that I've got the dangerous players that are going to have the big swings. I've got Son covered, and I've got Salah and Haaland covered. I don't think that the EO will really hurt me. So if I get a red arrow for having 10 men or even 9 men, I'm hoping it's not more than like 300k.
West Ham score and you're down to 9 men.
Yeah.
That's a big red.
But Trippier's always got something in him, hasn't he? Even when he concedes. But then
a tackle that leads to a Almiron left.
A lot of wild cards have got 2 Newcastle defenders, right? They might not be playing them, but yeah. I know I could have a bad week, but as I say, I'll grin and bear it to get to where I want my 11 to be, and where I want my 11 to be is going to be strong, hopefully. And then I won't have a bench, but Gusto will be unflagged, and Baldock hopefully be back. So I might have a defender, might have a bench player. But I'm going to just run without a bench for a while and see if I can get away with it. So it's a gamble. It's a big gamble, but I'm going all out for a strong 11. I'm going all out to lock value in. That's what I'm trying to do.
Mahomey said, I love controlling the comments. I haven't pressed a comment in about half an hour. So I'm leaving that to you both. Son captain Mark over Salah? That's the only thing here.
Just it's very close. I'm with you. I think Salah will do well. That could bite us for sure. But I think having got Son in, and that was the purpose was always to make Son captain. I've got to stick to that plan, I think. So yeah.
Yep. My team is. I'm hoping not to make any transfers. I've got Turner in goal this week. Adogi Cash Colwill for his second game. Oh, Andy, the Colwill boys. It's over.
I know. Sorry, mate.
The dream's over.
The breakup is there.
It is.
Lasted a week.
I know. Salah, Son, Maddison, Diaby, Ward, Prowse. Obviously, if Diaby doesn't play, I get Archer coming in. I'm hoping Ward-Prowse helps to wipe out the Newcastle clean sheet. That's probably a big one for me this week with no Newcastle defenders. And then Haaland and Alvarez up top. I think I'll back the transfer and go in with 2.
So you're going to play Diaby as well? You think he's...
I think
so.
You
might have him. Okay.
Like I said, I think if Diaby isn't fit, I think he either plays or he doesn't, right? I think he starts or he's out the squad. If he's out the squad, Archer comes in. And I think Sheffield United get a goal. So
yeah, Archer's a good one to have, isn't he?
Yeah. I think this.
No, you're yeah.
You'll
beat me with that, because I do think that West Ham may well get a goal, and Ward-Prowse could well be a factor in that. And I think that a doggy's a good bet. A Spurs defender's a good bet this week as well. So unfortunately, I think you'll get another green with that.
Yay, that'd be nice. People tell me to talk closer to the mic. Literally, it's been the same place the whole stream. But there you go. It's a little bit closer now. Let's just cover the Black Box leagues quickly. Josh Hinchcliffe is first, 521 points. I mean, Mark, you're having a pretty decent season. He's 90 points ahead of you. Absolutely smashing it. Nicholas Redinson just behind, 511. Waka Salim, Richard Doa, Thomas Anderson, Duncan Hull, Athena Lewis, Gagokpa, Matthew Bragg, Anis Arua, Gustav Sandgren, and Andy C, all in the top 10 in the Black Box League. And with the apprentices, Mark is still top, 37 points ahead of Liesel, 41 points ahead of me. Ryan, I've overtaken now. We're on 384. And Natalie's still struggling. She's got 38 points this week.
Come on, Nat. Pull it round.
Come on, Nat. And the Black Box Godfather League member, we've got Avi Fructure at the top on 482. Ankit, who's been in the chat all night and is watching this at 4 a.m.
Doing really well.
His time.
4 a.m, Ankit?
4 a.m. Fair play. 456. Lawrence Shan in third, 455. Nick Baker, 444. Crust with 441. Prasik, 438. Mark, you're in 7th, 437. Don't let Mark be in the top 10. Come on, boys. Let's sort this out. Ken, Mia in 8th, 436. And then we've got Tom Gould, who's been slipping a little bit in this league, down to 434. And Connor Gray rounds off the top 10.
You need to get on the board, Az. Come on.
I'm so far from the board, it's depressing. But
no, you're coming back now. I can sense it. Unfortunately, your team looks all right.
Let's kick some members out of the Godfather tier, and then I'll club up the
We'll
ranks.
have to reduce it to about 3 people for you to actually be on the board. Is that what you're saying?
Pretty much. Yeah. Boys, it is 25 minutes past 11. Andy, this is way past your bedtime. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing your wildcard draft. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me again.
Although we didn't give you a tough time. It was actually a decent wildcard, I've got to say.
Yeah,
thank you. I appreciate that. Obviously, it's deserved when you get an absolute, hauling of abuse on your wild card. So I'm glad that I obviously didn't have that this week. Thank you very much.
We just berate you when Neto gets like back-to-back blanks. It's fine.
Yeah, unless I then don't pick him and he gets back-to-back hat-tricks. And,
You
that'd be even worse.
Mitchell 30-yarder against Forest that'll break your
exactly.
as well as that'll be the real thing.
It's got Matty Loughton vibes. Yeah.
If Mitchell comes in, I will.
You'll be wishing you picked Gordon and just went for Archer, I reckon.
Yeah.
Cool. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. Like we said, we had 2,000. We've still got 2,000 people watching live. Final call. Do make sure you like the stream. Do subscribe. Leave us a comment as well if you're watching this a bit later on. And do head over to the footballcontentawards.com/voting and give us your votes.
Award.
I want another reward
on that shelf.
I do indeed. But we will be back next week, Mark.
Normal service resumed.
No, international break next week. It's not.
Oh, is it?
It's not.
Well, me and Andy will do a late tackle next Friday, probably. Cool. Anyway,
yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I'll do my. Well, I won't do anything. To be honest, I'll leave you to it. I'll take a break. I shouldn't. I've been on the last 2 late tackles. I shouldn't even be on here. So
no. Well, yeah, but we love you. We love you on here, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
It's been a lot of fun. So yeah, we will say good night. Thanks everyone for watching, and Andy and Mark will see you next week, and I'll be back in 2 weeks. But yeah, have a good game week, and see you very soon.
Good night.
Cheers.